All right, let's do this. Those people are missing out, bro. They missing out, baby. We're about to go over this thing. Oh yeah, if you want to know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna be star forcing not tomorrow, Sunday, you can check exclamation mark gains, so you can see what I'm gonna be working on. Oh, egg, white wine, amaretto, and sugar. Yep, it's 5 to 15. Skip smash. That's why we're going at it. All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep exclamation mark classes open as well, so that I can add and basically look at this column on the right here. This one is gonna be pretty important for people who are trying to pick a main for the longer future, right? Okay, so second fall update has been released to the official service in Korea, called a Tomb of the Gods, Tallahart, and Skill Balancing. I think Tomb of the Gods Tallahart is one, that's just the name of the area, I believe. This patch contains the level 290 area Tallahart, as well as very drastic skill balancing with some additional changes from the test server. Alright, so let's keep an eye on those, and various quality of life improvements. Next month we're going to get Asmos Canyon, which we don't know much about. In the milestone showcase, they said it would be a new type of system that rewards enhancement items equivalent to mesos or something like that, which is pretty vague. Rewards enhancement items equivalent to mesos or something like that. That is ridiculously vague, yeah. Drastic looks at Kaiser. Did Kaiser get absolutely nothing at all? Here you have the official login pictures. Oh, let me move this just 1 pixel to the side, so there's not a little white line on the side, so my autism is happy. There's this one. Very cool, very cool. And then the big frog, space frog event that is going on at the same time. So let's dive right into these things. Most of these things is probably going to be very similar to the Tespia note. On that note, let us keep... yes, I agree, totally. Let me keep Tespia open here so we can kind of see them side by side, so we can see what the additional changes, because, you know, we did go over that a little bit on stream. I didn't make an official video about it because Max didn't have his official post ready until recently. But let's keep those side by side so we can kind of keep track as well of what happened in the test version versus the live version now. So you already see here the same thing happened here to the special cores. And then the locations not being too awkward for these skills all happen the same thing. And they have gone on with making decent speed infusion and decent advanced blessing passives in the V matrix. I said here from V cores, he has changed that because they are decent skills, so they are automatically tautologically from the V core. So that was for the V matrix, so from the boost nodes. So that is a little bit redundant. So he's just cleaned that up. But it's still only those 2 skills, but that still means that for most classes in the game, especially late game classes who have included, or players who have included decent advanced blessing, that you will basically free up one entire auto buffer and or 1 or 2 skills on your keyboard, which is nice. And it's probably in preparation of new 6-job skills coming out later that will require another button on your keyboard. So okay, and then these are also passives, so further going on to that same thing. Maple Warrior, all of the blessings, all of the boosts. The one I am missing here is the demon one. I don't know if that one was mentioned specifically. or not mentioned for any specific reason. Does this include all the other ones? Other worlds? No, the demon one is different. It's like a regular Maple Warrior, but it's like in red. And it's still kind of an issue now. It's a very, very small thing, but the thing now is that the passive, as some of you might know, Demon Avenger does not need to use Maple Warrior to get the passive effect of extra HP versus extra stat. But the downside of that is that when you use Decent Combat Order to increase the level past its max of, its soft cap of 30, the passive actually does not increase past that level, while the active does. So Demon Avengers actually lose 1% HP because the fact that it's a passive. So I was actually kind of hoping by them making this passive that maybe they would have changed that passive for the Demon Avengers as well, so we'd get another extra... We would finally get that percentage of HP that we're missing there, but I don't see the skill mentioned here at all. But I think all the other ones are in there, so I don't know if it's like purposefully omitted or if demons are going to be treated differently here. We'll have to wait and see. And then they're changing the 2 minutes. I believe that's the... Yeah, that's the Tespia, and the live one is the same there, yeah. And they have changed, like we said, they have just removed the charges because they changed the... Here they had changed the cooldown to 2 minutes, but also the preparation down to 2 minutes. And immediately the first thing we said is, then why the hell are there still charges? Because if you can only use it every 2 minutes and a charge takes 2 minutes, then why even have charges, right? There's just no additional point to that. Which I see that they've realized in Tespia as well, so they've just gotten rid of the charges. And now they have a 2 minute cooldown. This means it's going to be harder, and you're going to have less uptime of these skills in things like Culvert, or in certain boss fights where maybe for 2 minutes straight because of 2 charges, excuse me, you would be able to use them back to back. However, there's no additional adjustment to the stats of the skills, and most of these are 3 minute and some even 4 minute cooldown skills, which instead now are all going to be redirected to 2 minute cooldown skills. So for classes like Arc, Coinkydink, this is great because initially our Grandest Goddess Blessing was a 4 minute cooldown, but we are a 2 minute bursting class, so we were kind of forced to maybe burst one time with it, but then basically keep it as on a 3 minute, or only use it when we are roar bursting to get the most damage out of that. And then essentially become like a smaller burst 2 minute, bigger burst 4 minute class. But now we're going to be able to just use it on every single burst and every single 2 minute to keep a more consistent damage output throughout the bossing. But for most classes, it's going to mean that your Culvert is going to take a bit of a hit for most of it. But there's other adjustments, so hopefully those will kind of like counteract that. But this is more just to make the bossing more consistent for everyone and more just not consistent between the classes, but also consistent within the class, right? For your bursts to be more consistent. Yeah. And that's for all of these blessings, which I believe those are all the blessings, I think. I don't think there's one missing because the World Goddess Blessing is like used by almost all the classes, right? And these are the exceptions. If I'm missing something here, let me know. It's hard to see like at a glance like that. Then, yeah, the extra 5 all-stat to Decent Advanced Blessing. So worth maxing out now. Not. Oh, and in the KMS version, to fix an issue where Cygnus Blessing damage boost went higher than the maximum damage. Oh, nerf. Okay, it's a bug fix. And they made it so that another World's Goddess Blessing for the demons and for Kinesis, I believe, right? Use this one. That the Void attack, which is a big explosion, does quite a lot of damage. That it will activate at least 3 times, again, to make the burst more consistent. And that's necessary because of all the other things that we saw in this update, right? Which was a lot of the nerfs to the supports. So since we can't rely on the supports as much anymore, we still want to make it so that when you are fighting bosses without the supports, that we still have consistent good damage, so that we don't need to rely on the on the support capabilities of the other classes as much. And as a result, be more self-reliant and be more flexible with any kind of team composition to still be able to kill the content is essentially the goal here. So, with all that being said, next here is Rin's Prayer has an extra thing going on. That's interesting. Fix an issue where the immune barrier activated after using the skill, the duration would not be fixed to the maximum duration. Okay, so another little bug change. And magic circuit full drive preparation time and charges have been removed as well. So in Tespia they said preparation time decreased from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. So they just got rid of the charges thing here as well. Okay. This means... yeah, I guess, yeah. Because it was on 3 minutes, but with a 2 minute cooldown to use. So I guess they're keeping the 2 minute cooldown to use. So I guess for Arc, like for Culvert, nothing changes, but for Burst, that means that you just have one every time. And all the other classes burst on 3 minute, I believe. All the other floras. Right? Or no? Ilium, bro, my brain. Ilium and Adele are both 3 minute. Arc is 2 minute, and is Kali's also 3 minute, I believe, right? So this is basically just to make it a little bit more user friendly for Arc, I guess, because everyone else is 3 minutes. So that was really the only class that it was a little bit of a bummer for. Oh God, I can't believe we still don't have Endless Dream or our Impending Deaths boosted. Once those get boosted. Then, yeah, then we should be fine. Race of God. That is the... Oh, skill description. Okay, cool. Minor thing, minor thing. That's basically a 10% damage skill for Flora. Following skill effect on off has been added. The changed skills are as follows. Okay, so they added a few to the list here. They added Bloody Pocket. Okay, and they added Metamorphosis, Enhance, and Blue Blood, where you can choose to have the effect on or off. Added bonus, not as much visual clutter. Possible negative bonus that you could forget. If you don't double check the skill in the beginning, then you could forget the whole time. But you probably should see a huge difference in your damage output, so if you're paying a little bit of attention, you should be okay. Aura weapon, yeah, so the attack range should be increased vertically. They kept that the same. Changes to Last Resort are the same, so you actually don't take as much bonus damage, but your total final damage boost on the skill has also been reduced a little bit. And then the big difference for the survivability for everyone is Decent Mystic Door. So that's an extra skill that everyone will get access to. Extra decent skill. They didn't fudge the numbers here between Tespia and the live version. That's good. I can see the... Every single time I switch, the... The ad block just goes up by 2. Look at that. You could just keep maxing out the numbers. Hoopla. But basically, you put a fountain on the map. There can only be one fountain on the map at a time. Either a real one or a fake one. If it runs out... if decent fountain disappears before the duration ends, before the 55 seconds, because it gets used 17 times, it can be used by you and by... Is it Mystic Door? Jesus Christ, how the fuck did I say that? Holy Fountain. If it runs out because of the uses instead of the timer, then a trace will be left on the map. That's just there to make sure that nobody else can use theirs until the trace disappears, essentially. But you only have about 10 seconds of downtime, as you can tell here, by level 25. I'm not sure exactly on the numbers whether this number will be... And this number and this number will be lower at a lower level fountain. This might become one of the more favorable leveling decent skills that we get, just like Holy Symbol. where, of course, it's another bishop skill. Figures that the stolen bishop skills would all get buffed, but the or all be useful. But then the bishop skills itself are gonna take a sledgehammer to it. But yeah, so every time you use it, recover 30% HP, and you can use it a total of 17 times. So it's quite a lot of healing that you'll get from this. So that's also, you know, I think also why the self-sustained lifesteal and healing from classes like Bowmaster was hurt a lot, I believe, because with that plus this, the lifesteal or the survivability would be a little bit too crazy. So I'm guessing that this is to, you know, because this was in the game, that is a change to cancel it out a little bit. Not cancel it out, but to mitigate that a little bit. Venom Burst is finally going to be relevant. Oh no. Fixed an issue where you could use it on monsters that couldn't be hit. Alright. Back into the cage, all thieves everywhere. Okay, and then we get to the actual specific class changes. Although that these changes have already, I would say, already have some effects. This is mainly up until this point. There's definitely some utility in here. There's some buff, but the fact that you could have multiple charges feels like this is for all the users except for Grandest Goddess Blessing 2-minute user. Grandest Goddess Blessing in general, right? Because even for the 3-minute users, because it had a 4-minute cooldown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this one was 2-minute. This one was 4-minute. This one was 3-minute. This one is 3-minute. And the Rins... Was Rins also 3-minute? So that'll take you one... I'll take like the 4th burst until it gets up. At this point, this whole update so far just feels like an arc buff. So far. For all the other ones, it's, I would say, close-ish to neutral, but of course there's a lot more stuff coming. But I'll already put it at a... Sickness is also 4? It's 45-second duration, right? Okay, Sickness and Rin as well. Okay. So I guess for all the Sickness and 0, I would already put that at a small buff. Wind Archer, Thunderbreaker. That's neutral. Wait, did I go over one? Oh, here, Nightwalker. Nightwalker, yeah, Nightwalker needed buffs. Thank God, dude. Just so you can use it on every single 3-minute, right? Especially if you're a 2-minute user. Dawn Warrior, yeah, Dawn Warrior needed some love. And who did we miss now? Blaze Wizard? Blase? Oh, they can always use some love. Okie dokie. And some minor stuff. Some extra healing, extra survivability. That's definitely nice. And then we get to the specific classes. So it seems that we had the same changes from Tespia here. So mainly action delay. And you'll see this a lot basically from every class. Just extra speed. And maximum speed for more classes. I'm not 100% sure what that is for. Maybe people complained that they needed more mobility or slightly better avoidance options in Limbo. But I believe that a lot of this is set for current Limbo numbers and whatever content is going to come out right after this in preparation. So you see some of the base damage adjusted for Hero, like in, I think everything was just copied over the same. The only thing that really changed was the extra, a few extra cast action delays decreased, so for Cry Valhalla and for Sword Illusion, which is nice. Those get you stuck a little bit on the hero when I'm playing it, so that is cool to see. But the damage adjustments were all made the same. It's about 10%, a little bit more than 10% in some skills. Cry Valhalla is doing quite a bit more. It's almost a 50% increase, so that's pretty big. Close 40, yeah, so a little bit more than 10% on Combo Instinct, so the burst definitely got some love. Again, this is for soloing, purely for soloing. This is going to be buffs for pretty much all the classes, but that is because the party buffs from all of the support classes are going to be taken down quite a bit. So this is all just to counteract that in a party boss fight, you're still going to be doing around the same damage, hopefully. Maybe a little bit less. But that when you're doing smaller party, or you're just doing a party with a bunch of DPSs without a support, that you will all... That composition will also be viable, and you won't just be, you know, swimming against the stream because you didn't happen to get a support on your team, right? So for teams like mine, where we don't have like a perfectly built out, like highly efficient party composition, you can expect quite a bit of a buff just to make sure that, you know, all those parties are serviced as well. And about 10% damage here as well, a little bit less. But that all went through just like in Tespia. And then we see here again the movement speed, action delays, you know, that kind of stuff. Fix an issue where the on-off effect feature sometimes did not apply in towns. Okay, that's just a minor little extra thing. Extra damage to blast, extra damage to divine judgment. It's quite a big jump here, 550 to 700 for the holy stigma. Stigma what? This skill can now be used while in the air on smite. That's always nice to have that extra little bit of utility. So Holy Unity, another support skill, and you'll see immediately final damage boost when a bond user is used has been decreased from 20 to 13%. So that is not as big of a cut as the other skills. This is already significant, but it's not as big as the other big boosting skills. Why? It is because this skill only boosts one other character, while the other skills that are being affected boost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, right? So that makes it quite more like a snowbally effect of affecting more classes. Same changes here for Grand Cross, but again the burst increased quite a bit. Again because of the support being decreased in general in the game, right? Mighty Mjolnir, this is feature has been added. If you use the skill with the attack key, all of the Ancient God's hammers will be summoned. Maybe some kind of function. So you can throw all the Mjolnirs at once if you want to, just to get them out a little bit faster. And a bit more burst, more blast damage. Quite a bit here, 70%. That's like 14, what is that, 14% FD? Holy Stigma's damage increased. That's another 200 and... what is that, 270%? Okay, so that's like a... what is that, a third? It's like 30% more damage? It's quite significant. And then final damage on Falling Justice, which I think people said was not as strong as they wanted it to be already, but from 1300 to 1560%, so that's almost 20%. No, it's actually exactly 20% extra damage on that as well. So that's quite big. Blaster buffs. Not quite the Blaster. Blaster, we just met her. And then again, more. Just like the other guys. Cat section delay, speed, extra damage. Little feature added for animation cancel. That's nice. Builder's Revenge quite a bit more here. The damage went up not as much, but the amount of lines up from 5 to 7. Builder Shock, I believe, as well. 6 to 7 here. Dark Aura 3 to 5 hits. Darkness Aura was changed quite a bit, where you can activate it immediately whenever you want. But that doesn't end the skill. So it still will do the Darkness Aura damage for the whole duration, but you can use the explosion at any time. So you don't always have to wait for like right at the end, because then you lose the Aura extra bonus damage. So it gives you a bit more utility. Also, the max amount of life force is increased to 10, so it reaches that cap faster. But the number of life force required for each additional Dark Strike also decreased from 3 to 1. So you'll be able to way quicker get the full damage in, to make sure that if you have like Roar 3, right, you can still get the whole damage confirmed in there. If you have Roar 4, you can use it a little bit more flexibly whenever you need to. The damage per strike was decreased because of the easier setup, but also because you get more damage from the aura, right? So to kind of compensate for that. And feature has been added when you cast Dead Space. During the skill, you will instantly acquire the maximum amount of life force. So you could immediately blow it up if you would be so inclined. Spear, quite a nice damage increase, but a cap on how many times a single enemy can be hit. We'll have to see exactly how that affects the BA. I'm sure Kobe will know more about that and is probably already practicing around with that on his Dark Knight. I'm guessing that these are to cancel each other out quite a bit. I think right now you're supposed to throw a spear diagonally up when you're standing on top of a boss to hit it more often. So that probably won't be necessary anymore, is what I'm guessing, so that you can just throw it any direction. You don't have to worry about the other direction. It was actually kind of annoying when you're throwing the spear on Hard Lotus if you're standing near the portal and you try to throw it up, but then your character, because of pressing up, your character goes through the portal and then throws it away from the boss. That has definitely not happened to me. I would never do that. But I'm sure to other people, you know, that could actually be a thing that happens. And then we have Piercing Cyclone. This is also a general trend in this patch, just to make the keydowns a bit shorter. I think they want keydowns to be at most 4 seconds, so most of the damage has been adjusted accordingly. You're hit by certain status effects. The final attack will now be activated instantly. They want to make it a little bit more forgiving, that if you get hit by something, the explosion still goes off, like stuff still happens, and you don't lose all of the damage in it. The keydown duration's number of hits decreased from 12 to 8, but the keydown can now only activate the attack a maximum of 26 times the final attack's damage. So to make sure the final attack always goes off, the skill has gotten way more backloaded, as you can tell. So like 9:45 to 7:30 hits 12 to 8, but then 7:10 to 15:45, and from 5 hits to 8 on the final hit. It says here if you hit by certain status effects, so I don't know which those are. I hope it's not like Seal or Blind, because if it is and it immediately goes off, then you won't have the time to respond and to cleanse yourself, and then the attack will immediately go off and deal 0 damage. So I don't hope it's not those, but yeah, we'll double check, and we'll know by the time it comes to GMS, right? As always, we don't know 100% that this stuff is coming to us, and if it is, it's probably 6 months away. So that's plenty of time to prepare and plenty of time to look into what is going on exactly in KMS to get those I's dotted and those T's crossed, you know. Dark Synthesis, quite a big damage increase there. Fire Poison Mage, huge rework. Damage duration increased from 4 to 20 seconds on Teleport Mastery, and more speed. Hopefully Fire Poisons are happy with all of that. Good job, guys. At least you didn't get nerfed. Okay. So, yeah. So far, I guess with the, I guess we should do the heroes now. I would say that consists for those guys of a pretty. I mean, I think that would consist of big buff on all of them. Probably more like a small buff slash a neutral, but probably still a small buff on Paladin, because they did get that hit to their supportive capability to counteract that. So I would keep that one on a small buff, I guess. And then for Dark Knight, we'll have to see exactly how that Calamitous Cyclone change affects them. I'll be inclined to say that it's big buff, but it might be closer to small. We'll have to see the details, but it'll be somewhere probably somewhere in between there. Fire Poison staying neutral, so we don't have to touch that at all. That saves us some time. Ice Lightning needs some love. Let's see. Maximum keydown duration decreased from 13 seconds to 10 seconds on Freezing Breath. Rip. But cooldown decreased from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Very nice. As you guys might know, Ice Lightning, pretty much a 60-second burster. The fact that they have a bind on a 3-minute cooldown was kind of criminal. So that's nice that they at least have that. Alkina's description changed. Nobody cares. Lightning Sphere, key down, decreased from 3.6 to 2 seconds. Again, since they have a 1-minute burst, and this does a lot of their damage, it's really annoying and difficult to be able to confirm all of that damage by standing there for 3.6 seconds holding it down. And if you miss one of these, there goes your DPM. So taking that down to 2 seconds, and action delay at the end decreased by 44%, and attack interval decreased by about 42%. Means that they can confirm their 60-second damage a lot easier. Because again, remember, bosses can't be bound for that much, so you also have to try this on a boss when it's not bindable, right? So that is Fire Poison, new category, insanely huge. So this is quite a nice quality of life, I would say, for Ice Lightnings. 1 extra line of damage on Spirit of Snow, which, you know, translates to about 11% FD on that skill, which is not bad. And then Jupiter, Thunder, again, to make sure that the burst is better. Again, overall, everyone's burst is going to be either quality of life improvement or damage increase, as long as they're not supports. Shock damage increased from 600 to 800, and the current damage increased from 400 to 520. So I don't know if that consists overall as a large buff. I'd be inclined to say that that's a big buff, just because of the extra utility and the ability to confirm their damage on Lightning Sphere. I think Ice Lightnings can let me know how you guys feel about this change, but I think Ice Lightnings will really like that. I dropped my Ice Lightning as a bossing build not too long ago, just because I wasn't really feeling the class. I didn't really hate it, but I just didn't like it enough to have it in my roster. But if you do get the changes for max crystal per character to 12, like Korea did as a change, then I might bring it back into the roster and bring it back as a boss mule. But yeah, we'll see about that. Dan Bishop, no more debuffs on Angel Ray, Bahamut, or Divine Punishment, and following skills are no longer affected by the increased intellect from special skill rings. Pray, that's Benediction, Holy Blood, Resurrection, and Angels of Libra. No longer affected by extra intellect from special skill rings. So no weapon jump boosting on these skills anymore. That's gone. That's already on the top end. That's already decently big. Especially for heroic, right? Where we rely for a big part of the damage. And again, these might be things that in GMS, you know, we're still waiting for a notice in September this month from Inkwell on possible future changes, you know, and differentiation between GMS and KMS and how we're going to do things. This, I think, might be a thing that is probably okay for the balance and everything in interactive and non-reboot, but because KMS is completely phasing out reboot and they're getting rid of that, this is like across the board for them probably okay. However, for GMS, I think because of the decreased scaling and just how much less stat we have, I think this is probably not a good thing to do in the heroic service. I think that would overcorrect, you know, just nerfing the scaling like that. So I hope this is something that gets individually assessed if we do have for some reason within GMS our own balancing between heroic and interactive. So that's the thing that I'll keep in mind and definitely keep my eye on. Okay. Then teleport, yeah, extra speed, skill description, blah blah blah, nobody cares. Holy Fountain probably gets a little bit of extra mention because of the decent Holy Fountain. Hey, I didn't see Mystic Door this time. Yeah, so you can't use it if there's a trace. Fix an issue where the buff icon would disappear if you died. Improved an issue where the unstable memory, unreliable memory while Fountain was summoned and it used Holy Fountain. The previous summoned Holy Fountain's buff icon would not disappear. Okay, so just some extra fixes. Boom, boom. Cooldown has been decreased on Holy Blood from 4 minutes to 2 minutes, but the cooldown reduction based on int removed. Okay, so the baseline cut and no longer scaling. Master of Magic permanently increases final damage by 10%. Angel of Libra damage boosted party members will now be limited to 40%. I'm not sure exactly how high it goes. I didn't know it went much higher than that. Did it go to 45 or something? Divine Punishment damage increased again because even though the Benediction is getting a big nerf, their own burst still needs to be countered for when you're soloing and all that stuff, right? Went up to 100%. Oh damn! But I see no change here to the supportive capability of. Oh god, I always forget something with the B. What is the thing again that you shoot out and it explodes and then the party members around get like extra bonus damage? Oh, whatever. Always forget the name of that skill. Oh, there's so many skills in this game. Peacemaker. Yeah, see, with a B. No Peacemaker is mentioned here at least, so that one is staying. Sacred Light preparation time has been increased from 8.5 seconds to 11 seconds. Ooh. And the Sacred Light hold limit has been decreased from 8 to 5. Wait, so they increase the damage, but you take a longer to prepare one, but you can't even hold as many. Ugh, so that doesn't even seem like a buff. That seems like a yikes. So now you're gonna have to DPM more often. You basically play like an Ice Lightning the whole time. Because you basically have your 5 stacks every 55 seconds, so if you want to like min-max on Divine Punishment, you'll have to use it every minute. So should I open job change my bishop? It has max nodes and 6 job, but like... and then Benediction, so no more boosting from the intellect up front. And then the additional feature where the final damage boost applied to party members is now split equally based on the number of party members. Except for the bishop that is using it. They will always get the full effect. The flip side, kind of positive to this is if you're a pretty new starting bishop in Heroic, people will still want you in your party, right? Because, you know, you're still boosting the hell out of them. It's still good. But it also means that you won't be then boosting everyone so hard that you're going to red dot yourself and then run out of damage and not actually get the drops in the party if they, you know, were so inclined to basically mess with you. So that is something that's like a tiny silver lining, I guess. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to find the positives here, okay? It's hard. The intellect threshold for final boost damage has been increased from 2.5 to 3,000. So not only, you know, no longer scaling off that thing, but also makes it harder to scale. Increased final damage boost based on intellect maximum limit decreased from 40 to 30. That's based on level 25, so it'll be a little bit higher on 30. The duration is increased, though, from 42 seconds to 57 seconds. So more DPM heavy parties and classes with longer bursts will like this change most likely. Or that part of the change at least. And the duration reduction if you reuse the skill within 5 seconds, so that's to turn it from the 3-minute use to the 2-minute use, has been increased from 14 seconds to 19 seconds. So that instead of having 28 seconds, 42 or 28 seconds on 3 minutes versus 2 minutes, now you have 57 or 38 seconds. So 15 extra seconds on 3 minutes and 10 extra seconds on 2 minutes. And then Hexa Enhancement Core's final damage boost has been increased from 10% to 17%. Yeah, in terms of like the overall utility and the overall class demand, it's... I mean, I have to... It's probably in... It's... Yeah. I mean, I have to... This seems like the... Kind of like the Bishop Killer patch, so it would be weird to not put it that big, honestly. Okay, Bowmasters. So this is all the same. Okay, Drain Arrow's activation rate has been decreased from 70 to 60, and then the HP recovered per arrow from 5% to 1.8. So that is a really big difference, for sure. My mom is probably going to feel that in her survivability a little bit. But with the extra fountain, hopefully that can counter that a little bit, but it's definitely going to be different. This is heroic. Back to interactive I go. Just jump around and jump back and forth, right? Armor piercing permanently increases final damage by 7%. Quiver full burst, the skill now also increases final damage by 15% during the skill. And then fix an issue where the skill did not increase mortal blows number of times an attack hit an enemy, which I think is a kind of like a hidden kind of buff, where it's not as obvious, but I think it's just a bug fix, honestly. And fix a skill where this skill is directly used attack did not increase mortal blows number of times as well. But it says now also permanently increases final damage and now also increases... Does that mean that there was no FD on these skills whatsoever before now? Because then if this 15 and 7 comes out of nowhere, then it is actually a really big increase. I don't know the actual name. We used to give percentage attack. This one gave percentage attack, right? Like 20 or 30%, I think quite a bit. But it says also, so it looks like it's flat on top of it. So in terms of like actual FD, I mean, sure, the survivability is going to be different. So you're gonna have to play quite differently on the survivability, but the FD looks like a huge up. So you're gonna have to be playing a little bit. You know, it's gonna be a little bit less brain dead. You're gonna have to actually start dodging things, but it looks damage-wise like a decently huge increase there. Okay, but again, if you're in like full perfect team mode and everything, then you're probably not going to feel as much because you're going to lose a lot of FD on like benedictions and all that, right? But for soloing purposes, what we're looking at. It's 7% constant, 15 on bursts. And how long does that burst? This one lasts a while, right? Is this the one that lasts like 50 seconds? Average of 16% FD boost. Yeah, usually like big buff for me is when it's like small buff is like up to 5% FD, or like maybe up to like 7.5% FD or something. And if it's more than like 7.5, then I would say it's big buff. So this is like double that, more than double that. So oh, it's 40 second. What is the one that lasts? Isn't there one that lasts 50 seconds as well? Longer duration on the focus. Focus on preserved even if you die. Thank you. True sniping, more damage, and also longer bursts. Split arrow damage up from 1200 to 1400. That is quite nice. I like my split damage increased. I can always use that. Surge bolts damage increased on all counts, more hits. Number of strike activations increased, so it seems like it just hits twice as well, but they doubled the cooldown. So I guess this is going to be less reliable to increase your DPM with the extra trick of the possible extra shot with animation cancel on the charge up, but the skill itself is going to be hitting harder. Okay, so just like a little bit of a playstyle difference rather than a really big damage adjustment, although this is a decent damage adjustment as well. And then just a whole bunch of extra damage on here. Repeating crossbow shots, an extra 33% FD on it. Sniping, an extra 125. That's like 22% or something. These are quite big increases. And hunt sniping, only a little bit. Ultimate sniping, not as much, but this is still like 8 to 9% FD on these things. It all adds up for sure. And then piercing, the bonus to sniping on piercing up as well. Okay, so I would say overall that looks pretty juicy for again, specifically for solo, right? But across the board for marksman, that looks really good. We're gonna see a lot of that probably. Curse transition. The critical damage boost per ancient curse debuff stack has been decreased from 4 to 2. The critical damage boost has been removed from ancient expert. The skill also specifically gives increased final damage by 10. Oh. That's all the same, that's all the same. Number of hits increased on all the barriers. 50% more damage on all of the relics. Because this is 7,000 and this is 10,500. Yeah, so 50% across the board, more damage on this skill. 25% more damage on the barriers. And then FD instead of critical damage. And this is good. This is probably not as huge as an upgrade, I think, for Pathfinder. I would still say that it's definitely a buff, but I don't know how huge that is. I'm inclined to put this more under the small, but it's like in between. But for future scaling, this is nice to have some of your critical damage as an archer taken away and just giving you final damage instead. I think most archers would probably like that, just because it also makes the maths easier when you're trying to just determine how high you want your critical rate and your critical damage to be. If it just gets changed into FD, then that's just cool. That just keeps scaling and stacking with everything. That's what you want it to be, you know? Storm of Arrows is 65 seconds or 70. Oh, okay. Oh, that one. Yes. Okay. Shadow Leap, the height when using the air has been increased by about 11%. Okay, that's nice. They have something slightly closer to an up jump now. Final damage boost increased from 8 to 14%, which is an increase of how much FD, chat? What percentage FD? It's 6 percentage points, of course, but what percentage is it exactly? It is 5.5 repeating percent final damage. Not bad. Across the board, so that's already nice. And then damage decreased from Fumashuriken from 600 to 560, but number of hits from 5 to 6. To 7 even. Nice. So from 3,000% to 3,820%. So 820 on 3,000, so that's about 720 out of 3,000. No, 820. Did I say 820? 920. 920 out of 3,000. So a little bit less than a third. So it's probably like 30%. That would be... Jeez, crap. That would be 900. Yeah, so a little bit more. A little more than 30% FD on that skill alone. And the Dark Lord's Omen fixed an issue. Is that the same as Tespia? Yes. Same numbers. Scrolls explosion hit effects sound. Yeah, okay. It's just a hit. Damage increased from 850 to 1245. Hits from 5 to 6. Explosion 2150 to 3120. Hits from 10 to 12. But the cooldown from 60 to 90. Okay. But I believe that makes it synchronize better again with Last Resort, right? But there is also the Last Resort nerf across the board with the final damage there. That was going from 30, was it 35 down to 29? So that is percentage-wise a smaller decrease than this to counter. But Dark Lord's Omen and Fumashuriken, so their DPM is definitely going up. So it's definitely a Night Lord buff. But it might actually stay neutral because Night Lord gets a whole lot of their damage in general from spread through during party buffs and during, like, as a value of a class. A lot of your value is coming from having insane burst in party fights. And since that is gonna get taken down a lot, I think Night Lord, especially for GMS, might stay pretty much where they're at. Because it might actually be a nerf for party, but like a slight buff for solo, which cancels each other out, I think. This is still nice though. But because of Last Resort. I don't know, let me know if you're a Night Lord and you look at these numbers, what you think. Maybe class Discord has some discussion on it. I think that kind of cancels each other out, if I had to guess. They say nothing about Lin Awaken nerfs, so Night Lord should still be busted. Yeah, but yeah. I hope that we see that this month as well. Like, so those initial changes, right, to those skills, but also the change to like the scaling, but also addressing the non-KMS classes on if they are going to follow like general rules of, because they must, right? If they're going to be like nerfing all the supports, then they can't just have a KMS support that's like a non-KMS support that's like, hey, you know, like Kana as well. Is Kana going to get completely not touched? Is going to get nerfed again? I feel like Kana's finally in a decently good spot. It's still like a class below Bishop, but would it be, again, a little bit too high? Should it get like a very minor nerf just when these changes go through, just to put it in the same spot again? Yeah. All these except Phantom and another one got the 10 FD nerf from Last Resort as passive FD in a skill. 10 FD nerf? Wasn't it like 6%? At level 25? Is it that much higher at level level 30? Because realistically speaking, if we compare Lin Awakened to Bishop Bene. Yeah, and I guess in smaller parties, we're looking at smaller parties now. That's going to be harder to compare that to bigger parties. Yeah, Lin basically gives all that support to just one character. Yeah, we'll have to see how Lin changes. I'm inclined to keep it at neutral here now, though, for the information that we have now, but it still might adjust, yeah, based on whether Lin and Kana and Hayato are gonna get any additional changes. Final damage to the dagger. Yeah, and that's Well, that's partially to Last Resort, but Shadow is way more of a DPM character, so that's across the board already a decent buff for them. Action delay on Sonic Blow decreased by 50%. Okay, very nice. Eviscerate or Trick Blade, right, for us. Damage increase from 1100 to 1350, and damage when attacking an enemy with a maximum number of 1350 to 1650. Okay. That is nice. And then Demon Slashing Formation from 850 to 1150, and the final damage 1250 to 1700. Okay. But again, calculating in Last Resort. But this looks nice. Especially for solo, yeah, for party. Kinda doubting for Shadow whether this is like small buff or large buff. I wanna say big, but it's like on the... Just because this is now passive instead of just Last Resort, and it's much more of a DPM character. It's probably like for soloing more of a big buff, and then for party buff more of a small, but it's like in between. Definitely a win though for them. But yeah, then for a party you have to include the nerfs again. Dual Blade, new skill. Oh my god. Rework, Semi-Dueler Agility. You can use Flash Jump upwards. Congrats, Dual Blades, on being able to do what everyone else was able to do for the last few years. Welcome. You finally mastered the skill of jumping up. Venom. Oh, hard nerf on Venom. Instead of 10% FD, only 9% FD. Yeah, that extra up jump skill was just too OP together with 10%. They had to cut that down a little bit. You can Blade Ascension one time after using Flash Jump upwards. You cannot use Flash Jump upwards after using Blade Ascension. Shadow Evasion also permanently increases final damage by 6%. Okay, and again, Dual Blade also very DPM heavy character. Asura maximum duration decrease from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Damage decrease from 693 to 560. Number of hits increase from 5 to 6, and attack interval decreased by about 40%. So I assume that's about the same damage, just in way less time, which is nice. You don't want to get stuck too much. I don't think Dual Blades use Asura for survivability as much anymore, so I don't think it hampers that terribly. Oh! Do we have Dual Blade in chat, by the way? Because I don't know how to interpret that text on the bottom that they added for the Karma Blade intuitively. Blade Storm maximum cooldown duration decreased as well. Again, yeah, capping that at 4 seconds there. Cooldown duration attack damage decreased from 895 to 600, but number of hits increased from 5 to 7, and attack interval decreased by about 33%. Okay, so again, more confirming your damage is faster. Asura maximum duration, yeah, so basically following the main skill and adjusting the numbers as well for Asura 6. But then, Karma Blade, Karma Imbued Blades damage skin has been increased from 857 to 1071, not even 69. Karma Imbued Blades number of hits increased from 7 to 8, but then the Imbued Blades, the number of Imbued Blades decreased from 50 to 35. It's such a weird change, because usually they would be changing things towards lower damage numbers to prevent capping, but now they're doing the opposite. Is this even a buff? I mean, the number of blades going down from 50 to 35, that seems like that counters... It's harder to cap without the FD stacking? True. Is it just multiplying these? Is it just 857 times 50 times 7? Is that just like the damage of the Karma Imbued Blade? So it's basically 300k going to... Oh yeah, so it's basically the same damage, just okay. So that's not a buff part, that's basically the same. Still, because of the extra FD here and extra FD there, and all of the bursts being able to be done on less time, I would say across the board, that still looks like a pretty decent buff. But again, yeah, that's because we're might be calculating into solo a little bit too hard there versus the party potential and the party FD nerf, right? Because the FD being evenly distributed among all the party members is pretty, for party situations where you have a bishop in a party, that is pretty nasty. Then Buck, Speed, Serpent Assault and Rage damage increase by quite a bit, 180% by 2/3? No, 3/4, 75%. Lightning Orbs damage increase from 7. Oh, damn, that Tespia was a little bit overzealous there. 710% to 1200%, that has been brought back down to 1045% instead. Dang. And a Serpent Fury mode has been added that lets you use all of the held Ocean's energy for Fury's charge at once. You probably want to keep a few of those for mobility, but sure. If you want to slam them all in there. Okay. Well, since it's only one part of the bursts, the Serpent's Assault and Rage, is that a big part of your... I'm trying to think. Where are my bucks at? Is that a big part of your BA? That's not the special toggle, is it? Fury's Charge is a culvert buff? Yeah, I guess. You can squeeze it all in while your terms and conditions and your roar and all is going, right? I'm inclined to put this as a more as a small buff. Like this is still significant, but and like a total 6-minute BA. Like a total boss fight. This is 20% of your BA. So it goes from 100%. Goes up to 100. Like it's like 50% more damage, right? A little bit less than 50% extra, so you go to like 110%. I'd have to see how big of a part of your BA this is. That would determine more. I probably would have said big if I knew more about this and this was staying at 1200%, then I think it would have passed that threshold. That's kind of where I'm at with that. That's why I'm putting it where it is, just for the people who want to understand my reasoning there, I guess. More speed, blah blah blah. Cool stuff. You can jump with rapid fire. Oh, just like in the Pharaoh's Treasure. Decent damage increase here. Headshot. Decent damage increase there. Sign of Bombard. But now will be activated by searching for enemies within a certain range of the location where the mark is installed. Okay. Skill prioritizes attacking boss monsters on continual aiming. Bullet party brought down as well. And damage increased. Oh yeah, this is a nice quality of life for Corsairs because they have 3-minute burst, but this skill was on 75, which is just awkward because, you know, twice is 150. That's not half of 3-minute. That's that's half of 6-minute, you know, like there was definitely some no, not half of 6-minute. I have a 5-minute. So it's just like every 2.5 minutes you can use. Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. So readjusting the damage and making it shorter, and readjusting it for 90-second cooldown to synchronize it with 90-second stuff is way better of an idea. I think they could have also made it even shorter and made it into 60 seconds to sync it with terms and conditions, but I guess they chose to do this instead. Nautilus Assault, just plus 50% FD on that skill, you know, to get that burst higher. And then we have Death Trigger, damage increased by about, what is that, 9%. And Rapid Fire 6, same damage increase. And Wild Modes damage increased by another 10% as well. This seems substantial. So for your 3-minute bursts, yeah, 3-minute bursters are just more reliant on party buffing, and when it's more DPM. So when I'm looking at like more DPM heavy classes, if Corsair was a 90-second or a 2-minute class, or more of a DPM class, then I would put this at big buff. But because they're a 3-minute, you're gonna be more party buff reliant. Even though this is quite substantial. And also Salt is quite big. Just 50% more damage than just that one skill. It's like on the cusp there. They're all like on the cusp. It's definitely a buff. Like it's but whether like in a full optimal FD stacking burst party like endgame, whether you're gonna do more damage. Probably not. That's probably counter 4. That's a guess. But I definitely want to make it a buff at least already for the utility in the bullet party. So that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with that. It's like, yeah, it's like in between. Cannoneer, oh my god, the rework is real. Extra speed and Pool Maker. The supply boxes will no longer be affected by skill effect transparency and will no longer be created on top of Ilium's Crystal Gate. Oh my god, the support. The hidden OP support of Cannoneer did not get nerfed. Base it. But we also did not get buffed. Wait, Cannoneer got nothing, even though all the supports. By the way, if it says neutral on here, that means that in party bossing situations, you're getting nerfed. And at best, your solo is getting buffed. So that means that basically means that Cannoneer is getting nerfed. Because you're not getting anything, you're only getting screwed over in party composition. It's a nerf to Corsair Mules? Wait, how is it a nerf to Corsair Mules? Got also fat buffs in Dreamer. What did it really need? Oh, I'm not talking about right now about what it needs or anything. I'm just saying that that's what it got. Oh, so in Tespia, we only saw a change for Dawn Warriors for True Sight. Elemental resistance reduction effect has been removed. Skill now increases your own final damage when attacking debuffed enemies by 10%. Stacks additively with True Sight's final damage boost. But they added a whole bunch of changes. They kept this one in the live server, but they added a whole bunch of extra stuff here as well. Let's see, more than, what is it, 12.5% damage on Cosmic Bursts. 3% more critical damage. 5% more boss damage. And what is this? 9% FD gain on Flare Slash. And 11% FD gain on Cosmos. Okay, I guess they did need some love for the damage that they lost. So again, for solo, this is definitely... But they lose some of the party composition. Lose some of that party buffing, huh? Yeah, but they already got a buff from the god from the goddess. Yeah, so I'll keep it where it is. But definitely, yeah. Okay. Okay. Mihail action delay down. More final damage on Sword Mastery. It's a support though, so let's get ready. Final damage before the skill is active has been removed on Soul Rage. The skill now also passively increases final damage by 25%. Oh, so like all the time. Okay. Okay. So that's a mob. That's a big, for Soul Rage. Wait, is that the one that makes it go into bossing mode? Is that this one? So does that mean that Mihail just got like a huge mobbing buff then of 25% FD? Install shield cooldown from 30 seconds to 10. Okay. I believe that's the same as Tespia though, yeah. Number of hits on sort of like from 12 to 15. Okay, so far so good. Feature has been added by the Warrior Guard buff effect is set to the maximum number of stacks during the skill. Oh, okay. Not huge. Skill now increases final damage by 9% during this skill. Alright. The attack booster in the skill has been removed instead. Okay. It was decent. Wasn't it like 30% attack or something? This one was pretty big. If I just look for Sword of Soul Light, I think it has a slightly different name, right? Is this the old one still? Yeah, this is the old one. This one still shows up. No, Royal Guard is not what I was looking for. Oh yeah, we can look for that other skill. So Courage. What is that other skill? Ugh. Where is it? Oh yeah, Rolling Soul. Significantly increases Mihal's attack ability. This is 25 FD, 10% critical damage. Yeah, so that's a passive now. Damn, for the mobbing, that's massive. These are, oh yeah, these are 4 minute, yeah. So that's already quite nice. And then sort of light. 12 to 15 hits is already quite big though. That's 25% FD on it. Yeah. And then sort of Soul Light, or Radiant Soul, that's what it's called. 15% attack? Oh yeah, it's 30%, yeah, but at level 30, okay. So instead of 30% attack, it's gonna give 9% FD. That's probably a loss, right? 9% FD versus 30% attack. So if you have like what, 90% attack, and you go up to 120. Fuck, how much attack are you gaining there? Oh, I've got like fucking got like what, 2,500? So 30% is like 750 attack. So your total attack is like fucking 80. So that's like 10%. Oh no, it's about the same. It's gonna be about the same. It's just scales cleaner, I guess. Yeah, it's cleaner scaling. They're doing that on quite a few things. But at the same time, damage up from 880 to 1150. Number of hits on the big hit from 12 to 15, and activations increase from 6 to 7. Okay. Light of Courage, where if I'm looking at the using skill, activates 8 lights of courage to deal 2,100 damage 10 times with 15 enemies. What? The attack has a 50% chance of playing darkness for 10 seconds and decrease enemies. Okay. And fix an issue with and detect the feature added by Royal Guards. Oh, so none of the supportive capability of Mihail is getting touched at all. Okay. Well, then I'm willing to get this one to a big boy. Okay, Blase. Wait, I was looking through this one. Oh wait, double check if it's the same. Oh no, wait, I was right. Watching the right one. Okay, I was checking the right one. Okay. Flamme Wizard. Speed. Fireblink. Disappear even after reusing the skill to teleport to installed location. Okay. And a feature has been added where after installing the skill, you can reuse the skill with the down arrow key to refresh the duration. Oh, okay, so it's way more similar to the Archer Blink spot now. Orbital Flame 6. Ooh, spooky. Any sort of Flame Fox mode where their elemental resistance decreased has been removed. Ooh. Blazing Extinction can now only be learned after acquiring Spirit of Flame. The skill can now only be used while Spirit of Flame is active. When the skill is used, while Spirit of Flame Fox is active, the Flame Fox will create a sphere of compressed flames that emits powerful heat waves, dealing 500% damage 12 times on up to 8 nearby enemies continuously for 2 seconds. It can attack up to 10 times with a cooldown of 30 seconds. When in Lion mode is used, the cooldown will be applied automatically. Alright, so they nerfed that a bit in terms of damage, but made it last 3 seconds instead of 2 in the live server. So an extra burst skill instead of an extra full DPM kit. Inferno Riser, Fox must cooldown. 0.6% when directly attacking skills hit an enemy. Damage when the skill hits an enemy of 5 stacks has been increased from 1800 to 1824. Number of hits has been increased from 12 to 13. This is like a lot of moving things at the same time. Damage applied to party members has decreased from 60 to 40. The action delay has been decreased by about 20%. 3% magic attack from Elemental Flame. You can use Cataclysm in the air. That's all pretty nice. Fireline mode explosion number of activations has been decreased from 5 to 1. Oh, they forgot about that part. This is a big readjustment as well. Damage increase from 400 to 600. Features of everybody casting. Fireline mode wall of flames will remain for 18 seconds. It activates explosions that attract up to 5 enemies. Explosion deals 600% damage 5 times under 3 enemies. A single enemy can only be hit by an explosion up to 5 times. Fireline mode's attack range has been increased by about 11%, and Flame Fox mode's damage has been increased from 500 to 730. This change is probably like, okay, this is pretty good. And then it's like, oh, wait. Number of activations decreased from 5 to 1. Like, oh, never mind. Rip that skill. I guess it was coming out as 2 OP. Salamander Mischief. Damage increase. And then the new Blazing Extinction. Damage decreased a little bit from 1090 to 1030. The total number of attack activations on a single enemy decreased from 10 to 4. Ooh. Flame Fox from a sphere of flames that emits powerful heat waves, dealing 830% damage 12 times up to 8 nearby enemies continuously for 3 seconds. Again, attack up to 10 times. That's quite different. I use the skill to one-shot most easy bosses as a mule, so having it increased in cooldown makes bossing slightly slower. Oh, gotcha. Okay, for the Corsair, yeah. Yeah, if your Corsair is strong enough, you always have some skill off cooldown. You could just like nuke. Yeah, you don't have to wait for any burst. I guess that's true, yeah. But they're also trying to scale less for that, for late game and end game classes now in Korea, because they have capped the crystals at 12 per character, right? So they are moving away from higher level characters still doing those very low level bosses at all. You're only doing them specifically if you're trying to get backups and everything. Yeah, now Brain Scramble is stronger, so you just like use like 2 Brain Scrambles or something to kill it. Okay, so I'm inclined to say this is quite a lot of specific changes. I should probably put a note somewhere that I should like look up a video on Blaze Wizard on how that's looking now. Maybe someone in chat can see if they can find a Blaze Wizard or Flame Wizard, I guess they're called in Korea. So if there's some kind of comparison video from now to before, because we already put them at small buff now because of the change to the blessing. It seems to me like they just adjusted them to have some actual burst now, because if they took the burst away, right, with the supports, then there's not much left for them. So they had to change Blazing Extinction into like a little bit of a nuke summon skill to counter for that. But it seems that Flame Discharge here. Yeah, and they still wanted to nerf the Burning Region. I feel like I want to keep it at small buff, but it seems like it will be more flexible in terms of solo versus party setup. So I guess that is a quality of life improvement. Albatross permanently increases found damage by 9%. You can now move while using Song of Heaven. Hallelujah. Damage up from 390 to 470. That's still quite significant. That's more than a quarter, so that's more than 25%. Pretty big. The arrow summon rate has been increased from 30% to 45% on Stormbringer, and the damage increased from 380 to 620. 620. Idle whim damage is decreased from 1100 to 840, but number of hits from 325, so 3.3k to 4.2k, which is still a 0.9k increase, which is what, 27%, a little bit under 30% increase. 30, a third, yeah, it should be 27% increase. Do the maths. It should be 27%. Vortex Sphere damage increase from 800 to 875. Again, that's almost 10% FD. So that's pretty nice. And then 10% FD. That's 8 is half. So that's 5%. So 1 6. Yeah, fucking hell. You can now move while using Song of Heaven. Yeah, and then 960 to 1155 on that. I would say because that is their main skill, and that is getting that utility, plus the Stormbringer change, and I don't know, man. I would say, I think this is some Wind Archer stonks, honestly. I feel like that's big buff. I think Wind Archers more like W Archers. Capital W, lowercase a. Thunderbreaker damage increase from 2000 to 2100% on Shark Torpedo. Okay, I mean that's an increase, I guess, but it's only a 5% FD increase. Lightning Spear multi-strike linked to attack damage has been increased from 1000 to 1300. Lightning activation linked attack against an enemy damage has been increased from 1100 to 1415, and the linked final attack has been increased from 1400 to 1810. And the giant lightning activated when the final linked attack hits an enemy's damage has been increased by 1500 to 1950. Why do I feel like this is just, yeah, like the small buff, which is more coming from the blessing than from this. I feel like this is just to counter that you're gonna get buffed by less in parties, and then when you're soloing, I guess it's a. I mean, it'll be a buff for sure that when you're like trying to solo and get to extreme Lotus and anything, right? For sure, but yeah, nothing too crazy. I'll keep it on small buff. That seems fair. Okay, next. God, we have so many classes in this game. Combat. Oh, combat step change is no longer there. You can use this skill. Oh, huh? While using Beyonder to instantly cancel it, if you do so, a 3-second cooldown will be applied. Instead, you have to use Final Charge, not Combat Step for that. Okay. Combo ability, combo credit every 5 seconds when you have at least one combo has been increased from 10 to 20. Okay. Slightly faster build up. Damage boost, 5% from Snow Charge. Combo refunded after Adrenaline boost ends has been increased from 200 to 500, and a cooldown of 90 seconds have been added. Okay. I guess you don't need to use it as often if it's more forgiving. Our physical credit from Adrenaline boost mode to enter Hyper Awakening mode has been decreased from 15 to 10. Okay. Critical damage boost increased from 8 to 10. And final damage boost has been increased from 15 to 21. And damage boost increased from 30 to 35 in cleaving attack. I feel like this is just counters the Because I guess Aaron is the one... there's like the one exception here where Aaron is basically the only one that gets changed before this update. I guess that I didn't have yet. I don't think this counters nearly enough of that. There's definitely some utility there. And less downtime of things. But like countering bad effects of a character is not the same as gaining damage. And this is very minor. 121 over 115. What is it, like 4... fifth out? Yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. I think Aaron needs more love here. I think I would still see that as a big nerf overall with the last changes and these changes combined. Ignis Roar, extra duration. Okay, final damage boost on Elvish Blessing decreased. Ooh. Damage increase on Royal Knights by quite a bit. And then Ikala's breath decrease. Ooh. Mercedes, not stonks. Mercedes, nerp. Rip. Evan. It seems that they feel like they've overbuffed the the heroes and they're taking them down a notch now. Dragon Solid Skill as a person make speed. Dragon Break. Was that the same as Tespia? No, that was added, right? Yeah. 1150 to 1400. The number of hits increased from 7 to 8. Okay, not bad. That goes from what, 800% damage to 11.2, 3.2 extra. So that's like 40% FD on that skill extra that they just randomly threw in during Tespia. Okay. And then Spiral of Mana, they reduced the cooldown, I believe, right? Or removed the cooldown completely. The damage, instead of increasing it from 260 to 460, they have decreased it from 260 to 200. But the number of hits reduction when using Circle of Mana 5 or 6 has been removed. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So now you can just always use it like without punishment. But the base damage has gone down. So you're going to be forced to push more skills, but you're not going to be as railroaded in using very specific skills when you're bursting. And then skill duration will now be displayed as a buff icon. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Break? Where are my Evans at? Is Dragon Break that much of a part of your burst? I mean, it's nice that that deals a lot of extra damage, but... This is maybe like some quality of life, some utility stuff, but that doesn't seem like a buff, and especially with all of the nerfs to supports across the board, I would say that's a neutral for Evans. DPM boost for yeah, but I think if you're losing out on burst capacity and parties, then that's like borderline more on the side of losing endgame capacity and buffing, I would say. Honestly, Marksman and Wind Archers eating the best. I haven't seen the Kali changes yet, if they've changed since Tespia, but the Tespia Kali changes seem pretty cool as well. Basically just critical damage and final damage across the board and no touching on any of their stuff. So for solo play, that's pretty good. I thought the Shadower changes are pretty nice too. Is that ultimately what next one is aiming for? From the looks of it, it's a lot of DPM buffs and burst nerfs. Well, it's more like solo burst buffs and full party final damage stacking slight nerfs to it. Just because they want to promote different party compositions and they want smaller teams to not be hurt by not having the specific compositions, I think. I got like 15 to 20. Yeah, exactly. I think that's pretty solid. Burst meta. They're definitely shifting away from burst meta, yeah. Or at least from 6-man burst meta, right? So they have to readjust where the damage comes from because they're changing party sizes to 2 and 3. Marksman. Yeah, Marksman and Wind Archer, I'm pretty sure I put them both on big buff, yeah. Yeah. I put Shadow up there as well because I think I've considered Mihal changes look pretty good. Who else do I have? Hero, Dual Blade, and Dark Knight, and Bowmaster FD I think is good. I think all the archers across the board. I guess Pathfinder didn't get as much love. And Ice Lightning I think is pretty big buff because of the extra ability for them to confirm their When you talk about the FD though, you're talking about the FD in Korea, or you're talking about if the KMS changes like were to completely unchangedly copy over to GMS? When Archer and Marksman was weak late game, yeah, I think they peak pretty early, and they do really well, I think, in the mid game and like early late game. But then I think they kind of like lose their touch. But I think every class right now who is more DPM, more DPM-y, just falls off hardcore in the current end game. So that's why I think these adjustments are good. Like Kaiser, even Fire Poison, Demon Avengers, Wind Archers, Lumis, like all of these classes just not really performing as well in the late game and in the end game stuff. Speaking of, hello Lumi. Let's see. Did you know how Lumi is cheese, by the way? Feature switch, yeah, we know about that. Morning Starfall final damage increased from 36 to 4%, which is, you know, something, I guess. Action delay decreased on the gate. Liberation Orb. Fixed an issue where the passive effect was sometimes not displayed properly. Okay, cool. So far, not a crazy amount here. Action delay decrease. And then Punishing Resonator, that's... Oh god, what's the name of this skill? Ether or something? No. Is it Ether or something? Ether Conduit? Is that the name? God, I don't know all these skill names, bro. Or Ether Conduit, whatever. The action delay has been decreased by about 21%. Damage increased from 900 to 1050, 640 to 850, and equilibrium from 850 to 1000. The Dark Falling V Core has been removed, so the existing. That's it. Little bit of FD on Morning Starfall. That's not even enough to counter. I mean, some cast action delay. That's cool, I guess. That is not getting me excited at all. I almost feel like that's a nerf for party compositions that's even bigger than the small bit of buff that they're getting. I would put that on a small nerf, honestly, which is surprising because I feel like Lumi was probably one of the classes most, at least from, again, all of this is coming from GMS perspective, so I don't know exactly where they're at, but it looked pretty scuffed. In terms of how much loved. Let's see here. Features of enemies hit by this skill receive a debuff that decreases their defenses by 20%. Oh, they took that away from Penumbra, right? Yeah, oh yeah, right. It's right underneath the defense, okay? So that's easier to appear. Damage boost increased by 15% on pair of Aria. That's a passive, so that's nice. The feature on movement was fixed while using the skill has been removed. Nice. Key down from 7 seconds, way too long, to 5. Okay, so that's still a key down over 4 seconds. So this is probably one of the longest key downs. Damage has increased from 700 to 745. An issue where Hourglass's cooldown reduction effect applied to certain hyper skills. So they increased the damage a little bit, but they took it down by 2%. I guess by 2 seconds, but I guess you can use other skills at the same time. But the fact that your movement skill isn't fixed, that means that you can dodge and do the entire duration more savedly. Damage increased from 1200 to 1300 on Blackjack. An additional text damage increased from 1600 to 1750. That's nice. Rift Break damage increased from 800 to 900. Yeah, and then Tempest Vicar damage increased from 840 to 850 with the debuff. And Ultimate Drive damage increased from 450 to 485. See, Phantom 8? Do you think this is huge? Barely an increase on the Tempest. 10% on 840% is like what? 184 is a 1.2% FD. Ultimate drive is 8%. Rift break 12%. Blackjack 8 to 10%. I don't think it gets up to the point. Yeah, usually for my large buff is usually about 10% plus. So I'm gonna keep it at small. It's definitely a solid buff, but I wouldn't put it on big buff. I'd have to usually be about 10 FD or more to reach to big buff. So I'll put it at small still. It's it's pretty nice. There's some other classes that get jack shit, so they definitely got some stuff. But when you said like they 8 in all caps, I thought it was gonna be some 25 FD like crazy shit, Okay, damage increase from 80 to 120 on Fox Spirits. Found another specific party members that attack enemies buffed by Soul Splitter while having the Flame Spirit blessing has been decreased to 15. Fuck, is that at 25 now? What is Soul Splitter now? Where are my shades at? Oh, is this not loading? Oh boy. Oh, 20. Okay, so that's not insane. Okay. Always load super slow. Yeah, I bet it's not really optimized properly. But this is still the old one as well, right? Yeah, I don't know. The new wiki doesn't show up. We need the other wiki to be the default. Fox damage increased from 110 to 140. Okay, that's pretty significant. And damage decreased on smashing weapon from 500 to 410. But the shockwave damage increased from 700 to 800. I'm assuming it's about the same, just a little bit more backloaded, similar to the Calamitous Cyclone change for Dark Knights, right? You can use Reincarnated Fox God in the air. Nice, nice. You can actually use it as an iframe panic if you need to. Fox Spirit damage increase from 235 to 352. Fox God's beginning damage boost increase from 85% points to 93% points. This still feels like a decently neutral. I don't know how impactful this is for your total BA. That might be more significant because the total shade change is kind of difficult for me to envision. Bookmark it, and then just search on that one. Oh god, this should be in dark mode. Okay. See, but the reason that this is acceptable in dark mode is because the whole page isn't just black, but it's got like a bluish, right? Like it's acceptable. Yeah, the light mode for that is haunting. Soul Splitter. Just look at the difference, dude. Soul Plitter. Yeah, that's obviously not what I was looking for, dude. Look at the lighting on my face just changed because of that. Yeah, flashbang, yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm going to give this a neutral, but if this is a bigger impact than I think it is, it might be set enough buffer soloed for it to work, but I feel like this is like a neutral state, but given that they are class with like supportive capability, it's probably okay to stay in a neutral. You could probably see that as a small W. Okay, Blaster. Blaster, I just met her. Damage boost based on a cylinder gauge has been removed. The boosted additional attack is activated regardless of the cylinder gauge number of slots. Okay. So more consistent as well. But additional attack activates on the enemy's hit. I don't know if that changes your Legion artifact system value at all. I think Blaster's already leveled that, right? Damage has been increased from 75 to 120, and the description has been changed. Okay, and instead of just Vulcan Punch, Vulcan Punch, delay when the skill is cast decreased, there's a whole lot of extra things. Additional attack from overheating's damage boost has been increased from 20% points to 32. The damage boost has been decreased from 20 to 15 on charged mastery. Revolving cannon upgrade, additional attack from the overheating damage with 60% points to 96. And then 140 to 224. The critical damage boost decreased from 20 to 15 on the gauntlet. And the boss damage boost decreased from 20 to 15. And the actual... So even though this seems like on its face it's probably an equivalent, I think, for late game and end game scaling, if you can get your damage just from the kit versus from numbers that are additive that could give you reduced efficiency, I think that's always desirable, but it isn't necessarily a buff or a nerf is what it looks like to me in the short term. This part alone, though, the revolving cannon mastery, I think that consists of enough to be a small buff, I think. But I would love to hear from blasters to see where they're at with that. So I put on small buff. I should make like a little bit just a little notes for myself. So Blaze Wizard buff question mark burst skill, and then blaster damage increased question mark. Boom. Changes a pro blaster main now. Ask him. I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't know how I'm gonna get Blaze Wizard info because I'm still banned from that Discord for God knows why. But we'll try to get the information somehow, I guess. Where are all the Blaze Wizard mains? What do you mean they don't exist? Liar. Okay. We have 20 minutes until Ursus and MPE. That's definitely going to get delayed because we're not even a third way through these patch notes in an hour and 40 minutes. Goddamn. Okay, Battle Mage. Final damage boost increased from 25 to 30. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. It's a support though, so hold on to your chairs. That went through from Tespia to the live server as well. Fixation with a teleport distance. Changed based on if you were using up and down arrow key. Yeah, okay, I remember reading that. Dark Genesis. Damage increased to 2250. Shelter is no longer affected by skill transparency. Spell boost is pretty nice. That is final damage boost increased from 5 to 22. And the damage boost increased from 10 to 15. See, now this is a considerable final damage increase. Dark Aura debuff has been renamed to Debuff Aura Enhanced. The elemental resistance reduction effect has been removed. Oh, that's why you get the final damage on spell boost instead. Yeah, so you lose that value, just like with Dawn War, you lose that value for the team, but you gain that value for yourself to keep your own damage level. The elemental resistance reduction effect has been removed. Yeah, I just read that. And the final damage boost to enemies affected by this skill has been decreased from 8 to 5. Yeah, so that's where your supportive capabilities definitely took a big hit. Battle King Bar, the staff sweep, is that what it's called? Damage increased from 650 to 1080%. God, what is that? 65% damage increase? Jesus. Abyssal Lightning from 1600 to 1700. The same with the Green Reaper. And then Battle King Bar 1300 decreased to 690%. Nice. But number of hits increased from 2 to 5. And the Magic Explosion damage increased from 325 to 555. So I would be inclined to say that this is... I mean, this is... Obviously for solo this is a buff. Borderline a large buff. But then... It's a decent nerf on the supportive capability, but I would say overall I would still call it small buff. Did anyone keep this skill? I guess we'll keep our eye on it because we have 3 classes usually who have this, right? We have the Blaze Wizard, the Dawn Warrior, and the Battle Mage. Oh, the Blaze Wizard. The Blaze Wizard didn't lose the value of that skill. Oh, so the Blaze Wizard. Oh. Also, comparatively, the Blaze Wizard actually gains a lot of traction there. So Blaze Wizard was maybe big buff, because if it's the only class that keeps that buff, They might actually come in higher demand because of that. Blizzard did lose it? Where? I don't see it. This is the burst skill. Cataclysm in the air, final damage, burning region. Inferno Rise. Oh, is it way up here? Oh, the feature for the Flamebox went another. God damn it, never mind. Okay. Well, that's a good thing with double checking, because I thought... No, yeah. I didn't register in my brain. I feel like they should have kept it, though. I feel like they should have kept it for Blaze Wizard, to finally give Blaze Wizard some stonks. To make it like a unique effect that only Blaze Wizard have. With only reduced efficiency to the Archmages, I believe, right? Is it... Archmages have extra ignore elemental resistance, and... God, it's like one other class. Fuck. There's another class that has it. Is it Blaze Wizard? Another class has it themselves. Or like Shade or something? Someone has it. KMS patch, this is finalized? Yes, this is the finalized one. This is the test server one, and this is the finalized one. It's under exclamation mark KMS if you want to read the whole thing yourself. It's a lot, though. We're almost halfway. Oh, god damn it. Okay, here. Wild Hunter. Alright, time for the big buffs. Here we go. Provoke skill description has been changed. W. Another bite's duration increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Another W. Still mode has been added for crossroad. If you use a skill while still mode is on, the Jaguar will not rush. Another W. Oh my god. White Heat Rush. Hello? Feature has been added where you can jump into the air even while not riding the Jaguar if you use the skill with the attack key. Oh my god, nothing but W's here. Stonks. Wait, are you using the diagonal up jump, or is that just... Use the key, use the custom command, you can jump into the air even while not riding the Jaguar by using the skill without inputting the attack key. Okay. Beast Form skill now permanently increases maximum speed by 20. Jesus, the biggest of W's. Oh, hang on. Oops. There we go. Drill container duration from 30 to 60 seconds. Another W. Custom command feature has been added where you can summon 3 or more powerful Jaguars without inputting a direction key. Another W. And then Jaguar maximum if you use a skill while not riding Jaguar, you will no longer ride the Jaguar afterwards. If you do, you cannot cancel. If you do so, you cannot cancel the skill cast action with Wild Vulcan type X while using the skill. And that's kind of a neutral. I mean, this is more like a quality of life improvement for Wild Hunter. I didn't see like any big damage increase here whatsoever, so that's pretty neutral slash maybe nerf. I mean, the extra Jaguar is nice, but that's just to counter the loss in burst damage when partying, right? But yeah, but then not the animation cancel. I don't know. Is this maybe even a nerf for Wild Hunter? I mean, it was all W's, but would we put small nerf here on Wild Hunter? What do you think, Glovny? Because you're losing party damage, right? Damn, why? No. Damn, there must be in a different situation in KMS, or they must be cooking with different kind of gas there. I guess Hurricane classes comparatively do better there. Big nerf, huge L. Mechanic. More speed. Ooh, they added some extra... Support waiver X. A buff icon will not be displayed where the caster skill icon no longer disappears where the skill equipment has been changed. Overtuning. The final damage was increased from 39 to 42. Dude, why do some classes just have like these huge final damage skills? That just make me think that the kit is not good where it's at. If you need to give your class like 40% FD in a single skill, that sounds like the whole kit needs to be redone, personally. But War Machine, you can use it in the air. Nice, because that's is it iframe or reduced damage? Either way, you use it functionally for the same thing, I guess. Support waiver. The final damage boost to party members decreased from 4 to 2. Yeah. Member key maximum key down duration has been decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds still. Got it. Okay, that's the longest key down now. Number text increased from 11 to 12. to counter that. Although, wait, instead of holding it down for 10 seconds, hold it down for 8. That's a reduction of 25% of the duration, right? 20% of the duration. And then you gain 9% of the damage? Attack interval. Oh, attack interval decrease. Okay, 60%. And fix an issue where sometimes the client would close. Yes, please do fix that. Okay, so shorter iframe. Lose some support. A little bit of a tiny amount of FD and some utility in your... I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a smaller too, because now you have less... Now you have less iframe in your origin. I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of utility gain in the origin if you only have like a roar 3 or something, that you have more time to get all your other burst out. Yeah, and you have 2 seconds less of missiles as well, yeah. How are they gonna lose burst on a support while also harming their... Well, admittedly, they only hurt the support a little bit by 2% FD, right? Dedge is the general vibe from KMS Wild Hunters. Okay. This is wild. I mean, they're buffing like a lot of these classes to like keep up with the loss from the party FD, and then some classes just get like forgotten or something. Are they gonna hurt their personal damage though? I don't know. Like, that does not seem right at all, but okay. Action delay on Demon Impact down by 11%. The feature where the cooldown decreases during Infinity Force has been removed for Devil Cry, and the cooldown has been decreased from 14 to 6 seconds always. That's just a little bit of utility. I don't think that's a huge buff for Demon Cry, I think it's called in GMS, right? Demon Impacts delay, chain delay. Okay. So I guess to keep up with the general trend, that's gonna be across the board. That's probably also like a small nerf then, because if you're not getting any juice, but you're like in big parties, you're gonna be losing. My buff TP farming. Yeah, is that really significant though in the whole kit? I consistently see Smekos for Wild Hunters must be OP class. Well, they already turned... actually, we should say large nerf. Why is it, instead of a small nerf, why is it a large nerf for Wild Hunter? Who knows? Because they already turned everything a Wild Hunter is useful for into a potion. Exactly. So... Nobody's gonna want feel bad, but yeah, no. JK, not JK, I guess. Demon Cry every wave. Oh, it buffs normal farm. Yes, because under 7.5, 7,502 milliseconds, right? Look for new party member in 6 months. If he's gonna be dead, yeah. Demon Avenger, new skill. Oh my god, our time is coming, guys. It is finally our time. Demon Avenger is going to be on top. Trust. We're seeing a lot of DPM buffing here. This is definitely what's going to happen. Surpass limit. Oh boy. Is that Forbidden Contract? Suppress your limits for a certain period of time, removing the HP consumption when using skills. Yeah. Consumes 1,000 HP. Just what I love to see. What is the skill for? To not take HP damage anymore. What does it cost? HP. For 30 seconds, using skills will not consume HP. 30 seconds? Wait, what is Forbidden Contract now? Is that 30? Is that 20? Nah, 30 seconds is over before you know it. I feel like it's less than 30 now, though. Cooldown 75 seconds. Okay. 75. What does he have a new skill? They wanted to split the effect of Forbidden Contract and of the 10% damage from Forbidden Contract. They wanted to split those up. So, because people might want to use them at different times. For me personally, I don't ever use them at different times. So now I just have to press an extra button when I'm bursting in some bosses. But the main reason is Forbidden Contract give extra damage, and if you were to use it now always, you actually take less damage, and then you keep your HP higher, and then you lose damage because of higher HP, then you get less damage from your FD in Frenzy, right? So the option to keep your HP high is really only viable if you are going to be bursting in an area where healing is locked. So, for example, in V-Hilla or something, this is super useful. Because then you can press this button and send up your bursts, and then but your HP is already at 30%, but then you don't go down to like 5% HP, because if you're down below 30%, your Frenzy doesn't stack anymore, doesn't give you the lifesteal, and then you're running around on 1% HP, and then you die to some random poison tick. So it is definitely more utility. It's definitely good for the class. But it really still doesn't get at the heart of the problem of the class. But there's another thing here that is quite nice. Mastery level decreased for 5 levels in overwhelming power, just to get 5 levels for this. Let me make sure I read this one. And then Forbidden Contract, the HP part of Surpass Limit is removed from there. But now we get to Dimensional Swords. The changes went through... No. Fuck! They took some damage away from our swords, bro. Instead of to 1150, they cut it down to 1000. God damn it. Can't have nice things. But basically, the skill, I think, does about 50% more damage on regular mode, and it was 30% more damage on Spady mode, but I guess now that's less. That's more like a little less than half of that, so probably like 12.5% more damage or something. Oh, and they cut the extra bonus damage on Revenant too! Mother! Instead of 50% more damage on Revenant, that's now down to only 33% more damage. Damn it. It almost looked like a good update for DA. It's still, like, above, I guess, but, like, damn it. We can't have nice... Yeah, we can't have nice things, dude. DA just can't have nice things. We're already at the bottom of the fucking barrel. We're finally gonna get a little bit of juice, and they nerf both of our damage increases. Unreal. Probably some OP DA showcasing way too much damage. But this is the biggest quality of life thing, I think, in this whole jumble. So this skill now consumes 50% of your current HP instead of 25% of your max. For people who don't know, Revenant is the thing that makes it so that you cannot die to HP damage anymore, which is typically something you want to tap when you're very low on HP. But if you're below 25% HP, which is very easy to be as a DA, then it just doesn't activate, and then you just fucking die anyway, which is just fantastic. So instead, this will just always lower our HP even more, giving us more FD, and it will always be able to be used because you'll always have some HP that you can take 50% of. Now, I don't know what happens. I guess at 1 HP, you might not be able to use it, because then that would kill you, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't say here. So I wonder what happens when you use it at 1 HP. I guess you can only use it at 2 HP or higher, I'm guessing. But the damage increase, yeah, cut quite a bit, sadly. And then Shield Chasing, the feature where the final damage was decreased when repeatedly hitting an enemy, will now only apply to boss monsters. Small mobbing. I mean, across the board, I would still say for Demon Avengers that it's a small buff. But it could have been closer to a big buff. Sad times. And then we have Xenon stuff, Sun Propel, a feature where you can jump upwards. Amazing. Another mobility W. You cannot use Sun Propel upwards after using any of these two skills. Fixation where cooldown reduction effect applied to certain hyper skills, and overload mode duration will now be limited to a maximum of 70 seconds. So Xenon, of course, as the super overpowering powerhouse that they are, of course getting nerfed, you know. Everyone is always talking about those OP Xenons, how they need to get taken down a peg. And then major Kaiser changes. The increased stats will no longer change based on a morph gauge and will instead be applied permanently. The stance boost will only be applied while not in final configuration mode, and the skill description has been changed. That is, for all intents and purposes, for Kaiser, considering the greater changes of the patch, also a nerf. Because, you know, Kaiser also definitely overperforming. And, yeah, we can't be having that. Kane. Why is the music so quiet on this? Final damage. The damage increased on Dragonfang 100 to 110, and on Remain Instance 110 to 130. Those are pretty small parts of the FD in a BA, if I'm not wrong, or part of the BA. Final damage boost from 20 to 25 on Dogma. Dogma what? Dogma ball. Possessed Dragon Burst. Feature where the movement speed was fixed has been changed. Damage increased from 885 to 1125. And then Execute Final Blitz. 665. Blitz? 665 to 750. That's an extra, what, 85% damage? 85 out of 665 is 1/8. 8 times 85 is 640. 40 is 680. Bro, what? No, 640. Yeah, 640. 680. It's close to that. Whatever. These Speed Fusion and Blessing are going to be passives. Yeah. Yeah. And a decent Holy Fountain as well for everyone. And Maple Warrior, yeah. But not for all classes, it looks like. But maybe that was just an oversight on the patch notes. I mean, obviously this is a solo buff, but is it big enough to count for party final damage stacking nerf? I don't think it is. At least looking at these numbers, I'm pretty sure it isn't. What does FFA mean in party busting? Free for all, that means that anyone can loot whatever is the fastest. So if you're playing from EU and you're playing on any server, that basically means you're not getting any shared loot. You're only getting your instance stuff. I'm inclined to keep this at a neutral, which for Kane is probably kind of a W because they are performing incredibly well, at least in GMS. Play from the Middle East? Yeah, I mean, just for free-for-all, just don't think that you're going to be gaining anything. Cadena increase 20% damage. Okay, how much percentage damage do people have in late game, end game total? Like 700% damage, so 20, 1/35, so that's like 3% FD. Attack boost on Weapon Expert from 30 to 50, and critical damage boost increased from 16 to 19. But Cadena has reduced efficiency on critical damage, so that's not that crazy. Boss damage on Quick Service Mind, 20%, another one. Okay. So now we're looking at like 7 to 8 FD. And then Chain Arts Fury increased from 500 to 700. Very different now. Again, I don't think the damage boost on the solo is gonna weigh up to the damage loss in a party composition. But if you're looking at endgame, I feel like this is pretty neutral too. But where with other classes they got rid of percentage damage and they replaced it with FD instead to make the scaling better, then for Cadena they did the opposite and they're like, oh, they already have enough FD, so let's just give those guys damage again to stack. Yeah, but yeah, and Last Resort as well, so this might be a neutral to even a slight nerf, honestly. It might be like somewhere in the middle. Okay, 0. Feature has been added where you can jump upwards. That sounds good, but wait, Zeros, there's more. Burst Step. You cannot use Burst Step upwards after using Burst Jump upwards. You cannot use Burst Jump upwards after using Burst Step upwards. And you're fucked. You can only just use one up jump one time. and that's it. Otherwise, you gain absolutely nothing. Chrono Trigger feature's been added that where you can cast a skill, rapid times detect, and strength will be set to the maximum number of stacks. I mean, with all that said, I think that means Zero is getting small buff from the goddess, right? But if that's all you're getting in the entire, I would say it's neutral. I think we're going down to neutral then here as well. I mean, as a support, you're not getting your support nerfed at least, but Zero's support is limited utility in endgame anyway, because the binds don't really work on. I guess the binds work on Limbo again, right? It's just culling right now that's the exception in endgame. Kines on other worlds after image skill now increases critical damage by 5% when active. The directly invested AP outside boost has been increased from 15 to 45. Psychic tornado number of hits increased from 4 to 8. Thrown object number of hits increased from 2 to 4. Explosion number of hits from 3 to 6. So it's just 50% FD on the whole thing. Okay, and then ultimate moving matter. Moving matter, just move. Fusion matter stops moving when the attack hits a boss monster. Oh, that's nice. Cooldown has been decreased from 90 seconds to 60. Duration decreased from 30 to 15. But the damage increased from 1,000 to 1,350, and the disappear damage decreased from 1,400 to 950. So more front loaded and on a 60-second with shorter duration. That makes it easier to confirm. This is 50% FD gain on that skill, which I think is a decent hit, plus extra stat and extra increase. And they were not getting any other nerfs. So that feels like for Kinesis is at least a small buff. But it might be... Movement is a big part of the... Yeah. But making it stop on a boss that will teleport out of it after like 3 seconds... If it's 90 seconds... Especially if you're soloing, if your burst is that big and it's on 90 second, you can also move it to 100 second and then just bind and confirm 100% of the damage. Well, I guess you can't because it's 30-second duration. So you can never confirm it fully. But the percentage of it that's going to get confirmed is going to go way up. Yeah, and then plus this, and plus that. I'm wondering if it rises to the level of a big buff. Because if it's 20% of your damage, and even if it does, it would have to do 50% more damage. If it's 20% of your damage, for your total damage to go up by 10%, right? But I guess the other one already does. I'll put it on big, yeah. I was on the fence, but we could always be swayed otherwise. I'll put it on my list as well. Kinesis, BA, change, question mark. Something's rising, alright? Okay. Easy there, partner. Oh, we're already 8 minutes over on the Ursus and MPE. Guys, carry me Ursus MPE while I do this, okay? Shard can now be used in the air. That's not named Shard. Skill description has been changed from Magic Circuit. Wait, don't we have the same skill as Arc? But ours wasn't? What? I guess ours might be. This is Magic Conversion? Okay, you guys need to carry me, okay? I run over to channel 18 Ursus, carry my ass. I'm gonna go throw out 2 attacks and then you guys do the rest. I trust you guys. Skills now also permanently increases maximum speed. Okay. Adele got a bit of a buff already with the blessing, going down from 4 minute to 3 minute, so to 2 minute. So now they can actually use extra blessings instead of having to save them all for their burst. Way more extra. Which should help them with their DPM quite a bit, or at least confirming percentage of the DPM. Extra layer decreased. Feature of buff stacking is gone, so not as much resonance rushing. Yeah, that doesn't really help you that much. 1% FD on 16% on Ascent. This is all the same as Tespia, I believe, by the way. The H3 clip. Do you know that you do that at the end of a sentence? Different name skill. Hit by an attack after using skill, your erosion will no longer increase. In limbo, grave, mark of death. Oh yeah, and they switch where the mark of the death comes from, right? But permanent increased damage by 20% on expert, 10% extra damage on attain, but the boss damage has been removed. Bind skill description changed, and then shard breaker will be easier to become. I think that the top damage of Shardbreaker was taken down, right? But the bottom damage was taken up a lot, so that it's a more consistent damage hitting thing. And you can now use Ruin while in the air. I mean... Man, that does not excite me, like, at all. I mean, it's not bad, but there's nothing... It's a small buff. I mean, it's a small buff to solo, but I think in party bossing, you're actually losing damage there, though. I don't think that buff is necessary or, like, good enough at all to counter for how much you're losing in endgame bossing. So I would say that's a small nerf, honestly, across the... If you're looking at it across the board, I think the small buff on solo play that you get from that, it does not weigh up to the final damage stacking nerf that you're going to get in most parties. I mean, the time of King Adele is gone. Did we get everyone? Oh, no. Okay, if there's still someone in the map who hasn't been added, let me know. Ilium, please buff Ilium. Come on, give him some love, dude. Oh. Another up jump, okay. More mobility. Debuffs increased in duration across the board. Sure. Mastery skill, come on, make it good, make it good. Damage boost increase from 10 to 15. An extra speed boost. Cringe, that barely does anything. 5% damage. What do you think 5% damage does for a class? It's literally impossible to detect. And then final damage boost from 40 to 47%. Bro, make a better kit. What the fuck is 47% final damage passive, dude? Oh yeah, by the way, all your damage multiplied by 1.5. Okay. Class fixed. Oh. Well, this is some of the crystal charge is reset when the crystal charge is at 90 or more. You can reuse the skill to resummon Diaz. Ooh, extra crystal gate change. It has been changed so the crystal gate can be installed in front of Lara's manifest where the river flows Dragon Vein. Okay, I'm not impressed by any of this. I mean, duration of the marks increased is nice, I guess, but it's not like a class-defining change, I don't think. I'd be inclined to call this small nerf as well. Did we get everyone? Oh, Rain. Rain, get in there. Okay, go on. Kali. Let's see if there was an exit changes to Kali. Looks like nah. Okay, I got some extra swords. Good luck, boys. Res me if I'm dead. You now cancel the skill cast action more smoothly. That's very nice. Double the duration on the buff. Duration of the Seething Blade. And then 5 FD here, 12 critical damage here, and 10 FD there. I think that's solid. Is it a large buff? Given the nerf to supports and the fact that you're a 3-minute? That's tougher to say. The crit damage is pretty big, though. I think I would still call it a big buff, but... It's also as it got censored for no reason. Uh-oh. Since it's you, I'm going to go ahead and say that there probably was a reason. I love you, but... I feel like you can get interesting sometimes. But I hope they revert the ban soon, bro. Okay. I would say big for solo, small for party probably. Arc, Mystic Arts, Mastery, Speed Boost. Wow, insane. Vengeful Hate damage increased from 210 to 370. Oh god, now I have to manual that. Or in 6 months at least. That's pretty big. Final damage boost has been increased from 10 to 12. A little bit. During the keydown, if you're hit by a certain status effect, the Watcher of the Abyss will now activate instantly. Okay, very similar to the Calamitous Cyclone. Watcher of the Abyss damage increased from 120 to 420. The feature where the Watcher of the Abyss final damage was increased based on the keydown duration has been removed. Okay, it's kind of nice, I guess, if you just like get it short. Yeah, Watcher of the Abyss actually decreased by about 29%. Okay, and then Grievous Wound, the Vengeful Hate damage boost has been increased from 420 to 480. Okay, that's a lot more damage on Vengeful Hate. Do you need me for the BM, or should I join a party if one comes up? Honestly, you can join a party if one comes up, for sure. Because I forgot, but that party with the DA, I'm going to be duoing with somebody's bishop. So we can still, you know, get you in there, but the party will already be super solid without you. So if you get an opportunity earlier, then go for it, yeah. But I forgot, since this week I was going to start doing it with Andrew's bishop that is on the come up, so that he can get badge prio on that. I was hated Facebook, and Instagram is Facebook 2.0. It's still very different. I mean, I use Instagram just as like fat material. I don't know what you guys use it for, but that's not what I use Facebook for. Facebook is like for people from my past and people that are like very far away that I barely see. That's what, and for the 2 or 3 people in the world that still just use Facebook over everything else, that's what I use it for. Quality of life from the Deus change is really nice. That looked good, but is that really going to affect your damage, or is that just something less that you have to like play around, you know? They already announced they're gonna censor social media harder with the DSA. They should. Is this going to affect our damage? Vengeful Hate is a decent part of our damage. Is it gonna make a large buff? I think the Goddess Blessing change. Maybe. I don't think it's going to be 10 FD, especially not in party situations where we do like our optimal damage already. I think I'm going to keep it on small for Arc. Which, considering being burst heavy and the supports all getting nerfed, I think is still desirable. Conversion? Does conversion really change that much for us though? Because it's a... Because we have it on... Because it does have a 2-minute cooldown, and we have it on 3-minute recharge. That's an extra, what, 50% damage on 1 burst every 4 minutes? Or how much total damage is that really? 1 every 2? 1 every 2 or 1 every 3? Having both A, clean double S. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. It might be big. If you really get the I feel like you have to manual though. You have to manual your Vengeful Hate to earn it this time. If you don't manual your Vengeful Hate, then it's probably... Can we agree on that? If you don't manual your Vengeful Hate, it's probably a small buff, but it's probably a big buff if you do. Yeah, for longer fights. Yeah, for sure. For longer fights, it's going to be a much bigger difference, yeah. Did you reach marksman buffs? Oh, we went past those a while ago. Those are good. There's level 270, and I can't see the pre-quest for level 70 in the light. That's because you have to do story mode Kalos. And don't underestimate him, because he's quite strong. You have to do the, what is it? Something with a Karoti Tower. The Karota Tower or something. Okay, I'm gonna need some people to carry me. Rain, carry me. And we'll grab Porlix. There we go. Oh wait, the Porlix already gets swept up. Oh no. Oh wait. Oh, but that's too many. Fuck. Let's kick Porlix, otherwise we get a 2-man party. That would be unfair. Two 3-mans. Yeah, Houston and Steve. Steve making a party? Or does Steve get added? Bro, I hate how this interface is so fucking... Yeah, you can't add Steve because now you're... Well, they're probably gonna be fine too, I guess. Yeah, they can make a party. Okay, I'm just gonna go in because I'm gonna AFK anyway. I don't have a level 265 quest. I already did it. If you don't see the 270, you're gonna have to do the Karote Tower first. Lara. Response, more speed. Is this the same as here and here? Do I need to use a little bit of skills here? We don't need these birds. God damn it. Number of earth energy you can hold increased. You can use Vine Coil in the air. That's nice. That means you can finally bind Damien out of the sky. Big stretch change is copied over. Okay. That seems like a pretty good DPM and DPS increase. Again, for solo. 1680 to 2100, 2040 to 2800 on lance connection. That's pretty big to get that burst difference up there. Did you guys summon the monkey? It's not here. Yeah, almost got it. Nice. Okay, cool. Oh, I almost got it without frenzy based. 21 Ridge increased from 600 to 1,000. Surging action 1370 to 1,700. Okay, these are pretty big. These might be overcompensating for the damage that you're losing on a burst. 5 seconds boost by 1, 1050 to 1110, 1250, 690. This looks good. This looks good. This looks like a lot of damage. Let's say about 15%. I think it might actually it might overcompensate for the FDE stacking loss. That looks like it, yeah. It looks good on paper, at least. Let's see. Hoyoung, up jump. Yay, clap us. Clap us for the up jumps, boys. Welcome them to the club of literally everyone else who already have one. 5% FD on physical training. Very nice. Very early on in the game as well, so immediately you can stack. Talisman Seeking Ghost Flame duration increased from 40 to 90 seconds. Okay, thank you. I feel like that should have been in the game a long time. That's very nice. Also 9% FD from Sura. Okay. Looking good so far. And then Sage Taiyu's Miracle Tonic. A feature has been added where you will not consume Talisman and scroll energy for 3 seconds after using the skill. That's also pretty nice. I don't want up jump Kane Hoyoung. Well, tough shit. You're getting it. And then some description changes. Oh, and if you use the Nimbus Cloud after using graceful flight upwards, the flight duration will be decreased. Gotcha. It should be the Carote Tower. Fuck, dude, I don't know the names. What are these things called? Is that its own... Is it Tower to the Sky or something? RST... Tower? No, what the fuck is it called? Oh, it's an Arcus? Hotel? Oh, here, Hotel Arcus, and then Carote. Carote, a new mission. Talk to Neinhardt and Aref? Maybe you've already done part of it. Okay, this seems good, but again, they're very burst heavy, big 3-minute burst, so you're gonna lose a lot of damage, but you get a little bit of extra utility from it, so I'm inclined to say that Hoyoung got small buff there. I think that's fair. And then, new area. Oh my god, let us hear the music. Let's go. Finally on the map, there's something in this area here. But it's a higher level than that area that's so far away. And it's right next to Hotel Arcus. And it's going to be 25 levels higher. Interesting. You found it? There you go. 290, yeah, 290 is so high, bro. That's so much grinding. Why did I think that was a good idea? Yeah, it's looking pretty spooky. It's kind of reminding me of Illuna. And then they have an underground area as well with a bunch of maps. There's a decent amount of maps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There might be some transition maps without monsters though. And a whole bunch of maps here. It's kind of like a high tier Pokemon dungeon. The Maple Alliance, which has begun to actively find the power of the ancient gods after going through Arteria and Carcion, sets out to the unknown region of Tallahart in search of a clue to fight against their enemy. In this place called the Tomb of the Gods, what will be the destiny of the adversary? The adversary that finds new power. Oh my god, look at it. It's sure is. Here's like the gray ass background and everything. A lot of songs here. The Fate of an Immortal. Jeez. Reborn Gods, an invitation to the night. Cockpit. Last Requiem. Alright. So we can see the map. Some of the lore. Spoiler alert for the people who don't want to see it yet. Alright, we have a 6-year-old with a wand. Okay, we have the edgy SJW. We've got the dude that looks a lot like that other dude, but is definitely not that dude. Ooh, spooky grin. Even spookier grin, even though she's chained and shackled. God damn. This music slaps. It's pretty good. The following quests have been added. And here are some of the here are some of the maps. That's some epic shit right there. And these monsters are looking pretty cool too. There's some big maps here with a decent amount of monsters. The Nun Lady is allegedly going to be 290 boss. She the next, is it Apostle? They're called Apostles now, right? So here are the dude is level 290, 291, 292, 293, 294. These are like some actual celestial beings. Look at these things. 294, 291, 290 AFK mob. Level 294 monster with 29 billion HP. Okay, next song. Oh. Some good BGMs. Okay. And then we have... Wow, these elites are looking cooler and cooler. Look at this guy. God damn. This guy will mess you up. He's got an actual moon floating behind his head. Do we have some quality of life? Oh, here's the new symbol that was announced. Ooh, it's looking spooky. With another... They didn't want to make it like a third screen, so they put a toggle in the second screen. But yeah, as you can see, this symbol is cray-cray. They want to make it worth for us to get to 290. That was a familiar? Yeah, familiar that looked like that, that would be cool. Grand symbol can go up to level 11. For every one level, the authentic force will be increased by an extra 10. There's got to be some crazy required announcement for the next arcane sacred boss. It has to be. The Grand Authentic symbol will give 10% additional EXP, 5% Meso acquisition rate, so that's 5% Meso obtain, right? And 5% item drop rate at level 1. Is it going to increase the cap as well? Otherwise, that part is completely useless for us in GMS. When it reaches level 11, it'll give 50% extra EXP, and that's on top of the 100% passive from maxing out your Solianus. 15% Meso obtain and 15% item drop rate. And Sacred Power, but no stat. After completing Tallahart quests, 10 symbols a day. You cannot acquire them at all from selective symbols. Not yet, I guess. Maybe eventually you can, but I think these will probably have separate selectors that will only be available later in events and probably very, very limited amounts in the beginning and then more and more as time goes on when people are trying to like catch up to them. But since it's 290, I don't think we're going to see those for a long time. And then our resident shitter medal with absolutely no stats. Now Tallahart has been added. The setting that characters over level 299 would be considered level 299 when determining experience and meso penalties based on level difference has been removed completely. Then we have diamond apples. Break your teeth. One bite at a time. Oh, platinum apples. Okay. Still, your teeth are destroyed. Some 20-star, 18-star scrolls in there. Abyss Rebirth Flames. Yowza. What's the percentage on the tier 7 again for the Abyss one? Is it 4%? And the lowest tier is 5, right? You can't even roll tier 4 anymore? Tier 5, 6, or 7? And I think it was 3 or 4% for tier 7. 3%, I think. MapleStory will support DirectX 11 in parallel. Is this all the same, by the way? Oh, I'm playing all that from the Tespia. Oh boy, I should be checking that from the real one. But this is so far all the same. Oh, after completing Tallahart area quest, you can use 1,500 Maple points to instantly complete the Tallahart daily quest. 1,500. It's a bit pricey, bro. Yep, this is all still the same. Reboot world changes. So this is the part where, you know, what changes in Korea is going to be very, very, very different than what is going to be changing for us because we don't even have reboot. We have heroic. And huge question marks for all of this, right? Trade will become possible. Auction house possible. Meso market available. Method and content of monster item drops will be changed to the same as regular worlds. Yeah, so this all has to do with equating and making the reboot servers, the reboot 1 and 2 in KMS all become non-reboot worlds, essentially. So this is all pretty much ignore. Because if this comes for us, our game is going to be down anyway, so who cares? Binding mark. Yeah, this has to do with them making old items locked. Because apparently people were still upset in non-reboot that people in reboot will have had an easier time at some point than them and will have had to spend less money to get to the same point, so they still wanted them to be like punished in some way, other already than their very essence of why they picked the server being undermined and destroyed. Can never please those guys. Additional potential, growth type items. All mesos held within the world will be removed. This is some good times, dude. The following item held within the world will be removed. Cubes, fragments, selective mitra boxes, armor boxes, all that stuff. The following items that can be put into storage held within the world will also be removed. Oranges, lemons, very important. Salads, chickens, cake, pizza. There goes all your fast food. Hamburgers, long hot dogs, fat hot dogs. No matter the girth of your hot dog, it's gone, dude. Okay, back to the music. Oop. Not the lemons. My cabbages, all of it is gone. Vouchers. If you exchange a damaged black card for a black card, you will be provided with a black card with the same specifications as those given existing. Okay, cool. You can only wear one of the following ring items. That was already the case, but okay. That's a lot of stuff. Reboot 1 and Reboot 2's Meso exchange prices will be separated from regular world starting from the refresh on September 13th. Skippity skip! Skippity skooska! Skippity doody. Improvements. Character select window. We're still stuck at 12 per page. What is that? The job growth status UI has been added that lets you check your current growth status by job. That will be sorted by level in descending order. Jobs you haven't created yet will also be displayed. If you hover over a job that you have, the character name will be displayed. If you click on it, you can select that character. If you click on a job that you don't have, you can create a character. That job advances to that job. Oh, so now people want like a paladin. They no longer have to be like, what do I have to create? Only the highest level character of each job will be displayed. Lame. And characters that have not confirmed their jobs will not be displayed. Huh. Okay. We got like an overall ranking to find your million characters a little bit more easily. Design has been improved, the base stat value information has been removed, and combat power information has been added instead. Okay. The character slot UI is always displayed, so that the location of the character selection windows change. Page buttons is more appropriate. You can move between pages on the character selection using the mouse wheel, very nice. Proves that you can move between list of jobs in the character creation. Okay. Fee matrix, Wagwan. You can now extend the duration of special cores. Saving fragments? Oh my god. No, it doesn't save at all. Wait, 95? Crafting is 250, so it would cost you 200? You can now use V-Core fragments to extend the duration of the special core stats to 30 days from the time extension. 250? Yeah, but you would get 50 when you extract it, right? So it would cost 200 extra? How much cost to be coached? Depends on the type of coaching you need. If you check !mark coaching, you can see all the information there. What do you want to do privately? What do you want a short session, long session? What do you want the session to be scheduled quickly? Those are all different costs. All of them very democratically priced, of course. You can extend the duration of the special cores at all. In this case, the V-Core fragments cost will be adjusted based on the remaining duration. Maximum of 864 fragments. 864. But now if you have one 250, it lasts a week. So for a month or for 30 days, it would cost you 1,000, right? And it is... So it seems that would be a little bit cheaper. if you're gonna permanently have one. Has been proved that even if you try to equip a different type of special core than the type you already have equipped, by dragging it in a different slot, it will swap with the equipped special core. Okay. Okay. Quest. Previously, when you accept profession, skill, craftsman, and the Meister guide quest, you will now instantly display the guide and be considered complete. Oh, they will be. I was like, you will be considered complete. Oh my god, were you not even complete before? Okay, that's okay. That's cool. That's cool. This is the Liberation quest. It's been approved so that if you defeat the Genesis egg without accepting a Genesis weapon quest that requires you to defeat the egg, the defeat record will now be saved. And when you accept a quest that requires it after that, it will be reflected as having been defeated. Basic human decency in my computer game. Thank you very much. That's actually pretty nice. Now you don't get fucked over for an entire month just because you forgot to click a little box before you did the boss. Thank the Lord. Agent Dropping gonna say thanks for your advice earlier. Very welcome. Director Follow, thank you. But probably won't be around much since I play on an interactive server. Hey, whatever you want to hang out, you can always hang out, man. I'll probably stick around though because I think you deserve it. Good luck on all your endeavors. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I kill 8 PM and then do all the bosses. I don't know how many it stacks. I don't know if you should do all 8 of them without and then just see if that works. Oh yeah, so no. A maximum of 1. The idiot proofed it for 1 month only, okay? View information from the before the improvement updated will not be reflected. RIP. If you already fucked up, it's gotta stay fucked up. But if you fuck up now, for up to 1 time, we will unfuck it up for you. You're welcome. Voices have been added to the following content. 5.7 is very cool. Items. Oh my god, that's a lot. The maximum increase item drop rate value, excluded the base drop rate, has been increased from 400 to 500%. Why? Because of that new symbol. Which means that you should probably keep all your high drop rate that you have, and hopefully you haven't re-rolled that away from the 426% that you had. And if you did, well, remake it again in 6 months, I guess. But yeah, I was expecting this because of the symbol adding extra drop rate, right? So cool. Yeah, so the people who are sitting on 426% drop rate and capped visually to 400 and you were wondering what do I do? Personally, what I did is I got rid of my Legion artifact for drop rate, but that's probably going to come back into the picture when this changes because, pitch waiting room and all that, Oh yeah, always X is always when you say something that's even remotely important. But yeah, thanks bro, appreciate it. Always welcome here. Use the boss ring box. While in a party, the information about the ring box item you used and the item you acquired will now be displayed to all party members. Oh, so now everyone can laugh at you when you get your 16th Roar 3. Alright, that's cool, that's cool. For all of the boxes, alright. The secondary weapon salesman Neville has been changed to also sell jobs emblems that are purchasable for Mezzos. Okay. Okay, not bad. Wait, is this the Cygnus one? Wait, can all Cygnus just buy extra secondaries? Wait, that's so unfair. That's so easy to 3-line then. You could just like a glowing cubit on the side. That's the Cygnus, right? I'm not fucking smoking. I'm not high right now. Every class can buy emblems now? No? This looks like just Cygnus, Xenon, Kaiser, and AB. That's it. It'd be wild if all classes could do that, because that would definitely be something necessary for me to know to tell people about trying to get a 3-line emblem faster. Yeah, it sells each job's level 100 emblem that they have, I think, right? The emblems for each job except Kaiser, Angelic Buster, Xenon can be purchased after completing the quest that provides each job's emblem. The Zero's job emblem can be purchased after completing the end of the beginning quest. Oh, so they did add it. That's a pretty huge change, actually. It shows Cygnus because Max is a Cygnus. Ah, gotcha. So it shows whatever your class is here, and then the other ones that are freely available already, I guess. Emblems for each job, except for Kaiser, Angelic Buster, and Xenon, because so those are the static ones. Yeah. Can be purchased after completing a quest that provides. That's really big. That means that the road towards a 3-line attack, or at least like a 2-line attack and a big line ID emblem on every character is going to be a lot easier to do, because you can just, if you roll something good in your existing one, you can just make another one on the side to roll that with, similar to what you can do with secondaries now. But since emblems have fewer junk lines, it'll actually be cheaper to do that project as well. Yeah, so you were right, Ginger, yeah. I just hadn't read that far yet. The Zero Jobs emblem can be purchased after completing the end and beginning quest. I assume that's chapter 2 completed? But it might, yeah. Monsters. All loot from all bosses will now just be instantly added to your inventory. JK. It's been proved so that certain boss reward monsters that could only be hit by basic attacks can now also be hit by skills. That's not a good change. That's only a good change if you make it so that DOTs and randomly hitting skills will never be taken into the reward room ever. Yeah, this is like Griefer's Paradise, yeah. Because now people can say that they accidentally opened the box, and there's even less recourse for it. Yeah, the opposite would be better, that all boxes could only be hit by basics, but that would be annoying as well. The thing they just have to change is they just have to make it sure that buffs that deal damage by themselves, that remnant buff damage, just don't get taken into reward buff rooms, box rooms, ever. That those just get auto-removed. The little bit of inconvenience from that is way less than the huge amount of inconvenience from accidentally opening a box too early. In Seren, Phase 2, the Authority Pattern's safe spot range has been increased. Wow, that only took them years as well. Everyone who's ever seen their team member jump in last second and then the whole party died, oh, oops. Rejoice. That's a, yeah, W Saren. Yeah, that's a, it seems like a small thing, but that's actually pretty nice for that boss fight. Certain stages in Epic Dungeon Anger Company have been changed. Crucial cooldown has been decreased. Hacking system cooldown going to be used in the last defense system. Oh my god, this is already almost done. The infiltrate skill could now be used while flying with Xenon's. If the card areas monsters, they will never. Okay, yeah, but we still don't. We don't even have this content yet, so I guess they made it a little bit less yikesy for lower, to like the new 270 people. Hungry Mudo, everyone's favorite content. Oh my god, they cleaned up the UI finally. Hidden recipes no longer appear, bro. Training wheels alert. No more hidden recipes. Goddamn. Now our boy Kobe has to update his guide, dude. Okay, UI. In the champion burning UI, an effect has been added that appears when you have enough double EXP points to level up. Oh my god, you can level up hyper stats multiple at a time? No way, bro. The future is, well, still in the future, but it's closer now. The future is in 6 months, dude. Oh my god, 2024 called? Actually, you know what? Never mind. This is going to be 2025 by the time we get... I just realized it's going to be... It's... No, not 2024. It's 2025 for us. Wow, we're actually going to be able to level Hyperstats multiple at a time. This is still bad though. This is still bad. We still shouldn't have this. We should have little arrows down as well if you wanted to just readjust, because now you're still gonna have to do them a little bit at a time to see how many points you have left, unless you're using a calculator, right? And if you go a little bit over, you're still gonna have to full reset and still do it all over again. So we're still not quite where we need to be. There still needs to be like an arrow down on the right side so you can just readjust it in the moment, one level at a time. But you know, maybe in like 2028 we'll get that. The hyperset level up going okay. And then what the hell is all of this? Dude, this is why we don't play non-reboot. Just look at this clusterfuck of numbers, dude. Look at the amount of numbers and text on. It's just too much. Features been added to display combat power, increase information on equipment, item tooltips, and certain enhancement result UIs. But then, but which combat power? The basic one that doesn't matter at all, or the boss one, or the mobbing one? Just like damage range, we don't not want damage range because damage range sucks. We don't want damage range because actual damage range is not used for anything. At least normal monster damage range or boss monster damage range would at least give us some information about what it is. Yeah, but if it gives me the change in damage range and combat power, but just like the numbers that it shows, it's still not useful. The only thing it's useful for if I want to see if it's going to increase my Legion raid power. But this is still, people are still going to just look at those numbers and be like, oh, I just want someone to link an item. Why? So I can see the percentage of my range that it is, so I can see how much FD it is. But that's not how it works. Because range does not show how much damage you do. Range does not show your damage. So even a percentage of it is not necessarily the percentage of your damage. This is not how it works. Damage can go up while combat power goes down and vice versa. Exactly. This is just not useful. It's just more numbers that look like they're useful that people are going to think are useful and then are going to connect value to, and it's just not going to be correct because MapleStory just giving combat is closer to accuracy for the most part at least. Yes, but closer to accuracy just means that it's still inaccurate. Combat power is basically like a gear score that you can arbitrarily increase or decrease based on how you upgrade. But it's not necessarily correlates or causates like how much damage you're going to do. It's going to be less wrong. Yeah, but less wrong is still wrong. That's the problem, right? Or still not right. Features been added to the display. Yeah, okay, cool. Chat window. And Hyper Megaphone's link feature has been improved. Can you finally get rid of Hyper Megaphone? Or can you already do that? People already always asking for that. Has been improved in link equipment item and with a comparison tool now be displayed when the sound light detector. You don't have that. It has been improved so that you can instantly use the Meso market without the extra dialogue from Miss Brainy. Miss Brainy? Excuse me. I don't know what that was. Has been improved so that the pet and Android transparency options are separate so they can be changed independently of each other. Oh, nice. Yeah, there is Android transparency, but in KMS already. That's nice. Channel change UI's design has been changed. Oh, okay. And the potential reset UI's current tier display has been changed. This does not look like this at all for us and will not in the foreseeable future look like that. So this is of no effect to us in GMS. Some error fixes, some item changes, NPC fixes, monster fixes, any of these bosses. Finger Black Mage P1. If the Ion of Creation and the Aldabaoth of Destruction were bound, the monster icon would not be displayed below the HP gauge. Here. Maps UI. Buffs could be cancelled by right-clicking even if the buff minimized state. Ooh. Open API provided information additions and changes. If the character basic information searches have been changed so that if the character has not yet completed Genesis weapon quest after resetting it, they will be searched as unliberated characters. Dude, who does that? Put that information except for the issue where equipment max HP and MP base stats were only searched in the final stat information. Okay, that's all. Minor. Grand authentic symbol information has been added into equipped symbol information. Okay. Minor patch. Fixed an issue where Aaron could cancel Beyonder's cast action while in the air using final charge. Issue where the game would close if there was a user sitting in the Maple style magazine chair on the map. That's not good. Oh, you want to bet that this is going to happen to us, by the way? The chair may look awkward after this fix, but it will be checked and fixed to look normal as soon as possible. So it's not even fixed. Features where the captain's sign of bombard were in certain bosses, so that's Corsair. The bombardments would not be activated even after the captain's mark was installed. Oh. And then the quest, the actual events. Holy shit. This is a long ass patch. Champion Challenge. Are you still with me, chat? Are you still... Hey. You still with me? Wake up. Wake up. Events, okay? Oh, this is extra EXP. This is extra EXP from your duders to get your 2 hyperburns done. Every week, weekly missions will be opened up. Each weekly mission will be completed by up to 3 different characters. Oh yeah, challenge coins. So you can buy them from the shop. I remember. You can buy items. Look at that. Oh my god, shiny. And these big ass flames. Oh! Look at these Karma Abyss flames. 3% chance of rolling tier 7 instead of 1% on an Eternal Flame. And you could only roll tier 5, 6, or 7. No tier 4s anymore. The average outcome of these flames is crazy. And a lot of it is added on to tier 5 and a little bit to tier 6, I believe. Or did tier 6 stay the same? Yeah, 9% more chance of tier 5 and 18% more chance. Sorry, 18% more chance of tier 5, 9% more chance of tier 6, and 2% more of tier 7. Challenge coin shop. Oh yeah, we already knew about this, right? But this is just still going from the past. Turnog hashtag. Turnog. What is this? Killing monsters near a level. What the? Oh, 50 more black flames. Magnificent growth pot. Dude, the scale of the just random rewards now versus like a year ago. Power creep is so real. 200/40 selective voucher. 1 soul Urda. That's a little bit cringe, but you know. Chair level. Oh, one of those chairs you can level up and put a whole bunch of messages on again. All right. Newbie, this one's for you. Characters with the hashtag Master Chair version 3 can customize the chair through the Turnog hashtag UI. Oh, there you go. You can choose a little background, choose a text. God damn. Probably gonna have to put a decent amount of work in there, though. Can take pictures and select background, select color. Okay. So you have a camera, so you could take a picture, background of anywhere in the game? Okay. It's going to be required to apply using special hash points, which can be acquired by defeating monsters or through trades. Well, that sounds like defeating monsters for us. It is. And more boosters. Gotcha. Alright. Oh, no, wait. Are these the areas? Oh, maybe there is restricted areas that you can add to the chair. Flying in a blue dream, rest in peace, sunset over the horizon, missing you. Oh no, wait, that's music, isn't it? Raindrop Flower, Temple of Time, Resting Place of God, Queen's Garden, Title, Adventure Island. I think those are... Wait, are those songs? Or are those backgrounds? Yeah, background music, yeah. Huh. And then Scholar Moon Bunny's Hangul Study. Oh. Is this for like Children's Day or whatever? No, that might not be it. Typing defense waiting room. Bomb, slow, haste, time stop, blind, recover, and question mark. This is kind of some kind of mini game? Oh, but no visuals on it whatsoever. Okay. Minigame: 3 players compete with each other. The game is played individually and will end when there is one last player surviving or all 4 waves are cleared. When you enter typing defense, your character will move to one of the red, blue, or yellow platforms. When the wave starts, different types of moon bodies will appear. Red, blue, and yellow chat bubbles will float. Enter the words or sentences showed in the chat bubbles into... Oh, dude, I can't type for shit. I type with 5 fingers, bro. I'm gonna get destroyed. 3 pat marks this week already? Damn. There's about 1,000 points. You can get Samur Nori with the Moon Bunny's chair. Okay. Burning World Early Leap. What is that? If your character's done early, you can already move it over? Okay. And a cash up transfer. And Sunny Sundays. Which, surprise, surprise, in Korea, they don't know what the hell their Sunny Sundays are. So they have to wait longer. Okay, wow. Well, thanks for getting through all of this with me. Let's double check here the class info. So we have our biggest losers. We have, well, surprise, surprise, we have the Bishop and the Aaron, because it's 2 updates, right? It's the big rework that people are already, you know, not happy about. Plus this together, compared to where we are at in total in GMS, I would say those are still like across from where we are into where KMS is going now, the 2 big losers. And then we have some losses. So the small nerfs are either directly the characters getting nerfed or them basically getting nothing, even though final damage stacking from party buffs is getting nerfed. So overall they will be performing worse across the board, in my opinion. We have here Del, Cannoneer, Demon Slayer, Ilium, Kaiser, because some of these classes are getting absolutely nothing. Lumi, Mechanic, Mercedes, Wild Hunter, and Xenon. Then we have some neutrals. We have Angelic Buster, Fire Poison. Honestly, Fire Poison Mage is probably also a small nerf, honestly, because they didn't get anything. So they're going to be underperforming. So to put it up there, Cadena looks mostly neutral. Maybe like small buff solo, but like in party. Yeah. Evan, same thing. So if they got a small buff, but it doesn't seem like the amount of buff that is for solo play really counters the amount of nerf in party play, again because of FD stacking, then I put it as neutral. If they got absolutely nothing, then I put it actually as a small nerf, again because of their overall performance going down. So Kane, Nightlord, I put Shade here, which, you know, considering the supports got hit, that's decent for Shade. And Zero, again, same situation there. The small buffs here, I have Battle Mage, so again, regarding supports, they made up quite well. Blaster and Blaze Wizard. I'm not sure about these 2, so I will do a little bit more digging into these 2 if I can get more information on them. They might actually kind of be in big buff territory slightly, but Blaze Wizard got like a different working skill, and Blaster got like a big passive change to its mastery. So it is possible that they're in a slightly different situation there, and I might not know completely to the full extent the way that resonates throughout their entire kit. We have Buccaneer here, Corsair, Dawn Warrior, and Demon Avenger. We have Ho Young. We have this whole bunch: Nightwalker, Paladin, Pathfinder, and Phantom. Pathfinder is barely in there, but it's in there, I would say. And then Thunderbreaker. And then we have the biggest winners, in my opinion, is we have the Ice Lightning, Mage, and the Arc. We have the Bowmaster with the passive FD. Hit to the survivability for sure, but if you learn how to counter that, I think you'll be good. Dark Knight, Dual Blade, which probably needed some love. Hero, of course. Hero always needs needs some love, right? Kali, Kinesis, and Lara. Marksman, Mihal. We got Shadower, and last but definitely not least, Wind Archer. So if you read through this as well, or if you had some discussion with your class Discord or anything like that, you think this, yeah, some of these are hidden behind my head, sorry. And you think that these are either maybe a little bit exaggerated or a little bit under, or you disagree with any of the specific analysis that I did, please share. Please let me know. Always love to have discussions on those things. I'm always open to that in general, but especially now, of course, because there is a lot of stuff moving around. So if you do have any remarks like that, please leave them in the comments down below. Or just find me live whenever I'm streaming over at twitch.tv/Scardo. That's where I spend most of my time. That's where this is also recorded. So if you have any remarks like that or just any general questions, let me know. Cool. Thanks for sitting through this whole thing. I'll probably cut out this last part as well as like a separate little update for all the people without any patience. Or with lesser patience who can sit through a 5-hour video. But yeah, thanks for checking that out, and I'll see you on the next one.